up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going, Celtic Warrior Jameson?
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks. I am at Ref Marsh. We are at WOTR, the show. With me today on Thursday Night Chaser, where we chase away the week of wrestling, specifically AEW and NXT, is Miss AmandaJayne. Say hello, Miss AmandaJayne.
Well, hello.
We are sans clump today. No clumps. We are creamy, not chunky, as it were. Clump wasn't able to make it today. He's not feeling good, so... it's just me and Amanda. We're going to hash it out.
Oh, yeah.
Amanda, what do you got in your glass?
Feel better soon, Clumpy.
Yeah. What's in your glass?
We all know. Well, I am corporate Amanda again, but you know what is not corporate? Sponsored, not sponsored. Oh, yes.
Not sponsored.
With cranberry and a little bit of Tito's in here, because you know.
Little Tito's. Because you got to. And you can go to WrestlingOnTheRocks.com and click on shop and get your sponsored, not sponsored pint glasses, sponsored, not sponsored wine tumblers, sponsored, not sponsored t-shirts, and all of the like. We got brand new designs for the Drinking Buddies. We've brought all the shirts down for the classic T-style to $13.50. We make less than $2 on every single item on that platform to make it easier for people to get more, so you're not spending $36 on a single t-shirt. Yep. Splinter Fox coming through saying ding dong hello. Cheers, Splinter Fox.
Hello.
I'm having Jameson cold brew.
Is that new?
Well, it's back. It's a seasonal thing. It comes out once a year. And it's back. Last year we got a bunch. I liked it so much that we saw it had gone on sale. It was on clearance and it was like $5 a bottle. So we got like 3 bottles.
Holy crap.
And then when I had it, I realized why it was on clearance, and it absolutely can go bad. And we had to dump it all. We had to dump all of it. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
It was absolutely disgusting. But
no bueno.
When you find it on the shelf and the dates all match up and they align, it is one of my favorite whiskeys. So there's that for sure. Oh. Yep. Yeah, producer lady's getting her apothic wine. Miss AmandaJayne, was there any birthdays or anything you want to shout out real quick?
Well, you know, today there's a good brother that has a birthday today. So shout out to our lovely friend and a very good brother, Chad Too Bad himself, Carl Anderson. So
nice.
See, told you it was a really good brother.
Yeah, it was a good brother.
And you know, honestly, it kind of makes me now think of, I kind of miss the Good Brothers being on AEW.
Oh yeah,
but that's just my opinion as of late. So, but you know, yeah. And then we did have some birthdays yesterday that were kind of cool. R-Truth, Tyler Breeze.
That's the one, yeah.
Tomorrow is Maurice's birthday, and Tully Blanchard's. So,
that's
happy
cool.
birthday, y'all!
Yeah, happy birthday! Yeah, Truth turned 50. How crazy.
Are you kidding me? No way. He did not turn 50. No way.
Yep, he turned 50. Splinter Fox in the chat says, I'm having sparkling ice black raspberry and some tacos.
Hey, I have Mexican food too. Raspberry. I have chili relleno and I think that's a flauta, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Corn chicken, corn tacos. All right, carne asada, corn tacos. I think he says. I think he's 25 years old. Was it 50? You mean 25? Oh yeah. Yeah. R-Truth is an anomaly.
Wait, corn tacos.
Yeah, he's
is it like
tacos. Corn chicken?
Oh.
And corn. Just got corn in it. It's fine. It's like a corn salsa.
Oh no! I thought it was like it just instead of meat, it just had corn. That's kind of weird.
No, that would not be good enough. I need corn.
No. It's hard to be judgmental, but that would be weird.
Well,
sorry, Splinter.
No, I mean, he's not having it, so I guess you can't offend him. Grim Reaper coming through saying hi. So cheers to Grim Reaper. Cheers to Splinter Fox. And Grimmer says R-Truth is great during live events. That's true. He's amazing with the crowd when he's allowed to just play with them, and that's what happens at the live events. They all get their chance to just play with the crowd. But yeah, I didn't really have anything as far as news that isn't just literally part of what happened on the shows. And to be honest, like Bishop says at Terrible Wrestling Takes, if you're watching wrestling and you're not ingesting what you're seeing on TV, you're not watching wrestling. Like if you're going to dirt sheets to decide how you feel about a thing, or trying to sign up some newsletter to figure out if you liked a thing or what something's supposed to mean, then you're not giving it the adequate viewership. Like you're not invested. You're not watching. You don't like it probably. Like don't do that. And I feel like this week it was a lot of that. It was a lot of me just enjoying what I was watching and letting that be that.
Yeah. And yeah, Twitter didn't implode.
Oh.
Or maybe it did. I don't know.
Twitter had a few meltdowns, but nothing specific, nothing that's not going to be talked about on the show itself. Producer lady?
Amanda, did you get a chance to see all of Peacemaker?
Yeah, I did. Fuck yeah.
For those of you who have not seen Peacemaker, you should probably see it if
there's a new episode out now.
If you want to see a new side of Cena.
John Cena.
All sides of Cena.
All sides, really, yeah.
All sides of Cena.
Another episode dropped today. There's a brand new episode today.
Oh, there is. Oh, yes, there is. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Episode 4 dropped today, so we're definitely watching that after we get done.
Although
that's how I feel. I'm watching it after. No.
We now have to refer to him as Sweet Cheeks, Amanda.
Yes, we do. It's Sweet Cheeks. But I could, hey, I mean, you ask. Sometimes,
Yeah.
You get.
Yeah. Yeah. See, just be like Amanda. Put it out to the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens for you.
Yeah, Amanda's here for the dude butts.
And you know what? It did.
Dude butts delivered.
Yeah, if you're tuning in for the first time, Amanda has talked on more than one occasion about seeing Cena way back in the day, pre-WWE days. And
she's on WWE.
No, he was in WWE.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was before.
No, it was on Raw, and that's where.
That's when you She's got some Cena booty stories, and I think
they all mix into one. I mean, I like good butts, and I cannot lie. Think of that what you will. Yeah. See, this is what happens when there's no wrestling news, people. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
more dude butt news.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
mean, we don't have to make up gossip. There's really good content out there. You just watch it.
Yeah, it's there.
That's not even gossip. That is like, damn. Like, that's like everyone well, not everybody, because, I'm sure that's not people's cup of tea, but I'm just saying.
And also, staying on the Cena kick, I got a really great kick out of his family-friendly show, doing completely 180, Wipeout. It's pretty much... because as producer lady here, my little enjoyment that I find in watching people fall is just total. I'm sorry, it's hilarious. As long as they're okay, I love watching people fall. But Wipeout is like the best version of that. I was dying the entire time.
Yeah, she was having a hard time eating. She had to put her food down because she was just laughing so hard.
Yeah, I can't drink anything. I can't drink water. It's going up my nose. I mean, I don't know. I've watched Wipeout before, but with Cena doing it, it's just, I don't know. It's the new, it's another level.
Yeah.
And Nicole, I forget her last name, but the woman who also hosted, what is it? Shoot.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
She's hilarious. So them together is great. So if you're on a Cena kick, that's something that you could have in the background, totally family friendly. And I had a good time with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Better than the Go Big show or whatever the one that Cody's doing. And I'm not meaning it to, slam Cody. No. I'm just saying that that is so entertaining. Watching people fall and some of the ways they do it and the way they kind of joke around about it is just hilarious. I mean,
and all of those contestants had a story, they were somebody in their whatever field, you know.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Sorry, not to get sidetracked, but we were on.
No, but that's a good Cena kick right there.
Yeah.
And then if you really are in a Cena kick and you could not get enough of the Peacemaker and Wipeout, I suggest if you go back to his his things of movies, I personally like 12 Rounds. That was his best of those WWE genre ones. So just saying. Or you can watch him in Fast 9, which I still haven't watched the whole thing because I don't want to pay for it again. Fall asleep. No.
It's the struggle.
It's a struggle.
Fox
It's
in the
real.
chat says he's got to mute the stream so he can keep his tacos down from all that dude butt talk.
Oh, producer lady and I could go on. I mean, do we want to talk about more? We could.
I'm not gonna lie. I was not expecting to see so much of Cena in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's
When I
entire
saw
fight
that, I
scenes
was
in
like,
his underwear.
oh my God. Like
Yeah.
at first, this is not a spoiler for anybody. Maybe it's a warning. Okay. But the first episode, when he's in the hospital gown, I thought, oh, she's thinking, producer lady's thinking of me because she, mentioned that. But as I'm like, oh, no, that's what producer lady's talking about. Oh, yeah. Oh,
No,
the facial
there's
expression,
theme.
eyes bugged out. Oh, yeah.
And as you go on to more episodes, you realize that was only the beginning.
Yeah, it's a new
Getting-
gimmick.
I don't even know. I don't even know. I think I can't decide whether that was amazing or the freaking eagly. I don't know. I don't know what
I loved the moment with the hug, and he's losing
The
his
hug
shit.
was great.
It's so fucking funny. I don't want to move.
Or-
Yeah, Marsha's dying.
So
I
good.
I was like, oh my God.
I'm just saying, I'd like to see someone in the wrestling world get an Oscar. I'd give it to Cena.
Yeah.
He can get
Yep.
there if Becky doesn't beat him to it.
That's a good point. Good point.
Well.
Kuro on the flip side says he missed dude butt talk. So
Oh, well,
that's a new segment.
Butt talk.
rewind. And yeah. This is what happens, Clump, when you're not here.
That's a good point.
Producer and lady and I run wild. So sorry, sorry. I mean, if you love the butt talk, hey, great. If you don't, I'm really sorry. No, I'm not. But you know what I mean.
So I don't know how to segue from that, but
I don't either. Marsh, how would you segue from that?
How would you segue from the dude butts? Let me see. I started Googling other things.
I mean, I'm thinking NXT.
No, I mean, there's no dude butt in NXT, but Splinter Fox says this makes me not want to see Peacemaker. Also, I just think it was ironic that for a professional wrestler to wear less in TV than he did in ring is rare.
Yes.
It's rare for him because when Stone Cold was in movies and he was shirtless, like, well, he wore less in the ring. This is not the case with Cena. Every scene you're all like, well, he wore more in wrestling. So
Yeah.
Well, wait, is that true also of whatchamacallit, Kevin Nash or whoever was in Magic Mike? I don't remember.
Oh, Kevin Nash, yeah. Kevin Nash. I don't remember the scene vividly enough to tell you what he wore.
Okay, well.
in it. I remember he was shirtless with a suspender at one point. Let's
But that's
see.
not the same. That's not the same.
It's not the same.
But I will say, I remember there was and you can go on YouTube and see this, or even Peacock if you can try to find it, but I just go to YouTube. I remembered a long time ago that they had done this little, I don't want to say it's a documentary, and it's not a vignette, but they had this thing where they were at home at the Cena house, and he was with his dad, and he was walking around with an afro wig and a banana hammock.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Does
So
sound
obviously he's comfortable with being in that state. So.
Well, you can't work out that much and not be.
Yeah.
Spinner Fox does say, I think Killer Cross will be a future great actor. He's starting to film his first movie. That's true, too. I heard about that. I think he's going to be amazing. Bray Wyatt comes to mind. He's working on something in Hollywood.
He is.
He's going to be incredible in whatever he does. Let's see, he goes, oh, hey, where's the dude that said the Cards were going to win the Super Bowl? I totally called that, too. They got their ass whooped. Yeah, that's Wednesdays. We talked about it a little bit. He wasn't there. He wasn't even able to show up. He was mourning. He was grieving. He couldn't even make it yesterday. So.
Oh my.
But moving along, talking dude butts, talking wrestling does bring us to the only topic of which I tried to watch AEW. Dynamite I was able to watch.
There's good butts on AEW. That's a great segue.
See?
Okay.
Rampage I could not get through. The first match had me so out of it with Adam Cole, I just couldn't stand it. Then I see Sean Spears doing his lame, horrible, extended entrance that is like the Undertaker of the Indies, but way worse. And I turned it off. I just couldn't watch it. But so when I read the results of everything else, I feel glad I didn't stick around because there's nothing of your interest. Although Jay Lethal came out and confronted Absolute Ricky Starks. What did you think of that, Amanda?
Well, first of all, another good segue because Bootay. Anyways, sorry. One track mind right now. I actually thought it was very interesting because actually both of them have nice butts. Anyway, I'm just saying.
Good.
On the bubble scale, yes. Anyways, so
I bubble.
It's interesting that they're going to do this program with Ricky and Jay Lethal. Do I think it's kind of below Jay Lethal? I don't know. But I sit here and I think to myself that roster has so many people. And right now we're seeing a huge influx of, Adam Cole and, Red Dragon. As much as I love Red Dragon and all those guys, Adam Cole's been on every show this week. Every single one. And I'm like, dude, there's a whole other roster. I'm like, Tony Khan, what are you doing? I mean, come on now. What?
And on top of that, he's not even doing anything interesting. Is the other bit. This thing with Orange Cassidy, I don't know anybody who's into it, but there probably are. But when you think about it, they're just driving that point home over and over again on every single show, and you're kind of like, we get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wanted to ask, Amanda, what did you think of Sting? Because I've been just seeing a lot of people saying great things, saying like, "Oh, he's."
Well, we're not there yet. That happened on Dynamite. We're just covering the Rampage real quick. We'll get there.
Sorry.
We'll get there. In the chat, Spinner Fox. Yeah, parking lot. Spinner Fox does say, I would say Black is the Taker indie entrance, Malachi Black. And I agree, but that would be the good version. I feel like what Sean Spears is doing is a really overly dramatic, incredibly slow, uninteresting entrance. That's what I'm saying. It's like, remember how people joke about Undertaker taking 15 minutes to get to the ring at Mania? That's how I feel about Spears, except I'm not interested, and at least Undertaker has a presence. Malachi has a presence. Sean has no presence.
Wait, so
he's just fucking there.
I'm sorry, I dropped off with Sean Spears. Is he no longer chairman?
He is chairman.
No, he's chairman.
And it's awful.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to
looked
double
like
check.
There was one point in it when he looked like I thought he was going to pull a cord down like in Flashdance and water was going to spray on him because he arched back in the chair. And I was like, really? No.
100%.
No.
Jeremy in Time saying, how's it going, Dive Bar? Cheers to Jeremy.
Cheers.
Hey, Jeremy.
There is a brand new In Time Wrestling podcast episode out now about AEW and NXT. Spinner Fox does say congrats to Kyle for the new baby. Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly had a baby.
Oh, bye-bye.
But was there anything else in Rampage or anything else about the Lethal Ricky thing that you thought was all that interesting?
With the Lethal Ricky thing, I don't know. I'm really curious to see how it's going to play out, because I thought, maybe there might be something this week on Rampage. No, because Hook is wrestling. And it was very interesting to me. I don't know if you caught this, but when they announced it on Dynamite, I think Hook got probably the most crowd reaction that any of those people they announced for the matches on Rampage.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of sad, because you're spending a lot of money on a lot of these people that were at NXT and WWE and wherever, that you're not using much of, and then boom, there it is.
I was gonna say, I felt like that has got to be discouraging to a good number of people who have had more than 3 matches in their entire career. You know what I mean? To see a kid like Hook come out and get that reaction on a show, when these people have been doing it for years, and the whole point of AEW is to highlight the young, fresh indie talent and the ones who never got their thing, the Christopher Daniels, the ones who never got their flowers, to give them their flowers. And then you have Hook out getting a bigger pop, as it were, than any of them. There's got to be some guys in the back just going like, man, fuck that kid.
Rampage is the one on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my thought is with this whole thing is, okay, he's wrestling more than Ricky now. And so that must bother Ricky. I'm sure, like, deep down, it probably does. But I don't know. But I'm thinking probably deep down it does, because it would piss me off too. I'd be upset.
I would understand if there's a resentment building against the kid, and it's not even his fault. Poor guy.
No.
You know?
Ask Tony. Tony likes to do that, you know?
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Spinner Fox says the chairman deserves better. I disagree.
Nope.
And he says Hook got more pop. Was it for the strip club video? Yeah, the strip club video thing came out, and everyone was freaking out about it. And
the strip club video. What are we talking about? What?
There's video footage of that a stripper posted on her Instagram, and it's Hook. She's dancing on Hook.
Oh.
And people are all like, "Oh, this kid living his best life, and how great is this?" And I'm like, "Is he old enough to be in a strip club?" First off, like,
he's in his 20s.
Yeah. Is he? Okay.
I think
I
he's
don't
like
know.
23.
I'm asking, but I was saying like, geez. So
I didn't see that. No.
Here's the other thing. Because let's move on to Dynamite.
Okay.
As a topic of discussion, Owen Spinner Fox says, I think they're protecting Baby Rock with the neck. That could be. They're trying to take it easy on him. But still, that wouldn't mean that Ricky wouldn't be somewhat resentful of this kid getting more wrestling time than Ricky when he's been trying to prove it the whole time. And the way they've undermined that FTW championship by even having it on Battle of the Belts and starting the match with, just so it's clear, this belt is not recognized by any company in the world. Like, come on. You don't have to say that.
Yeah.
And then Grim said, I would want to work with Hook if I was in the back and not on TV. Yeah, just probably begging. He goes, especially when he starts having more meaningful feuds instead of jobber matches. Yeah, I could see that. But so the video comes out, and all I can think about is how weird it is the way that the wrestling fan base online reacts to shit. Right? They're celebrating this like it's a huge win, a big victory, like, oh my God, how wonderful. And I was like, it's pretty innocuous. Anyway, you cut it. Like, a young guy in a strip club who's got money? Sure. And he wasn't doing anything? Like, he was sitting there just kind of leaning back. And it's like, okay, like, there's not really a story here. Like, why are you making it a story?
That's funny.
On the same token, and I'm going to hit this chat again, like, the way that, before we even talk about all the Mox stuff, Mox did use the word fuck, and it aired on TBS. And now there's this huge fucking uproar online with people being like, it's inappropriate, you shouldn't be using words like that. You know, it's going to make the advertisers upset. And then there's this whole other side who's saying, why would you get so upset about a word? Words are just words. They don't mean anything unless you give them meaning. Like, completely negating the idea that the FCC is a thing. Then you have a whole other sect that's saying, hearing the F word on TV is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This is why I watch TV. Nothing's better than a promo with the F word. I wish I heard the F word way more. And I'm like, I don't understand any of you all.
That's funny.
No one's making a point that I get at all. I heard him and went, oh, he's mad at that fan.
That's really funny.
And moved on. TBS on YouTube TV replay, they didn't bleep the word, they cut that part of the promo. You can hear the guy yell, and then it cuts to Mox walking around. It cut his entire response back to the fan, because I think also knowingly that has to be a bad look in general to be cursing out a fan and saying throw him out for a fan heckling effectively.
Well,
the fan was being a dick, but at the same time it's probably just a bad look, so they just cut it.
Yeah, from a casual viewership, I mean, if that was me going back to watch, I mean, I'd miss out if that was supposed to be part of a story. I don't know. It just can't be great to be cutting someone's big comeback.
Well, I'm saying the flip side of it, they cut it well enough to where it's not like you missed context.
Oh, really? Okay.
A fan yelled. He responded by cursing at the fan and saying, throw him out of here, get him out of here.
Okay.
They cut that whole part, and I think probably because it would be a little hard for some people. I don't mind it, but some people I could understand them being like, why is this wrestler going off on a guy for like heckling? Is he not a professional? He's not know how to handle things. Like, you have to throw people out because they yell something. Like, you could, like, it's an argument I get, but I don't agree with necessarily. I don't feel that way, but I could understand why they would just say, just cut the whole thing. Don't bleep the word, just cut the whole thing. But it's just this weird, like, so Hook is at a strip club, greatest thing they've ever seen. They hear a curse word. This is what I love about wrestling. And I'm like, this none of this stuff is, like, relative to good storytelling at all. Like, it's just so weird. Like, to me, funny. Words are pretty innocuous face value. Using the word shit for the sake of saying shit means nothing to me.
Yeah, that reminds me of a 15-year-old, honestly.
Yeah, it reminds me of those that Hot Topic shirt that a friend of mine had in high school that said, fuck you, you fucking fuck. And I remember at 16 being like, that's crass for no reason. That's stupid. You're just trying to use curse words for the sake of using curse words.
What's funny about the strip club thing is it just reminds me of, like, every deployment. Like it got to be, like, such a thing that it was just like, oh, not the strip club guys. Come on. Like that's how often everyone was going.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a big deal after a while. It was just like, can we do something besides a strip club?
Yeah. I mean, in my 20s, I went to strip clubs a number of times, and it got to a point, too, where my buddies wanted to go a bunch, and after a while, I was kind of like, I just would rather not tonight. Like, it's just part of growing up, I think, and becoming an adult is that's part of what at least men do. I mean, I went with women, too, but it's just part of the thing. So, like, it's just this weird sensationalization of the most innocuous things, which is confusing me. Because no one's celebrating story. No one's celebrating this promo.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, they're just saying, like, how incredible a kid's in a strip club and how incredible a guy said the F word. And I'm all like,
where's the story?
Where's the context that makes this meaningful?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not offended by the word, but I'm not excited by it. Like, that's the weirdest part to me. You're literally excited by hearing the F word.
What makes either of these things matter?
Yeah. What makes it matter on either side? The fact that it's a conversation is confusing. I'm like, why are there two points of view on this? Like,
what's your take, Amanda?
Yeah, Amanda.
Wrestling fans are stupid. Let me just go there. I mean, okay, first of all, there's other important topics in wrestling that people really should be arguing about, like the who bathes and doesn't bathe and wash your wrestling shirts, pros and cons. I'm just saying, if a lot of people knew what. Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No, I dropped out. I had to drop her to get me back in, and then we're both connected.
Oh, okay, okay.
Take a drink if you're listening. Technical difficulties. Take a drink. Episode 1.
There you go. We're only on episode 1, guys. Yeah, don't get mad at us. So, yeah. No, but if wrestling fans really know or knew what some of these people do when they're not around your local, VFW hall or on like SmackDown or Raw or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, okay, best place that you could ever have seen the debauchery. Great example. If you're ever in Las Vegas and you're at Sam's Town and you saw ROH or Impact, enough said.
Yeah.
The walls could talk there. And I'm like, come on, that's shocking. So it obviously tells me that these people have lived very sheltered lives.
Right.
And you don't do anything. So.
Because my first thought is, I don't know if I'd be cool with a stripper recording me while I'm in there. Like, the amount of times I've gone, I don't think I've been
kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't think I would have loved it if they pulled out their camera and said, I'm just going to Snapchat this real quick. Rather you don't.
Because, I don't know, maybe did she recognize who it was? I mean, were there other people with him that she might have recognized who they were?
Maybe, but even so, even worse reason. I think part of the idea of going to that is the anonymity of it all.
Well, I will say this.
Poor guy.
The after party for GCW at Hammerstein is the Joy Palooza at Rick's Gentlemen's Club in New York. So think of it what you will. Just
let me hit the chat real quick. Splinter Fox says Jay versus Baby Rock's going to be fire, which I think is true. That's why I want to talk to you about it, because Lethal versus Ricky Starks is something I'm excited to see.
Yeah, but with Lethal, though, here's the thing with Lethal. My issue with Lethal is I know he's trying to get away from the corporate man of Ring of Honor, that Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
And, that's cool and all. He's kind of putting that black machismo thing in there, which is cool. But I don't know. I mean, it was nice that he tried to be on the mic because he does need a little bit more mic work. I've always thought that. And then, of course, as you like to call Baby Rock. Baby Rock just, I don't know. He's getting, I don't know. I personally thought that his last couple of matches were not that great.
Yeah.
It's not because of injury or anything. I just think that it was kind of sloppy.
He's been out for a long time. They're not letting him
Yeah,
wrestle
and when you're
consistently.
not,
I think it makes a difference.
Yeah, and when you're not doing things except for wearing weird O.J. Simpson gloves, and there was a picture posted on Instagram. I saw that, and I'm like, oh, bad fashion choice. So, I think that it's interesting because obviously now you've got more people that are out and around. Probably more people are going to get signed and come aboard because obviously people like Shane Strickland already is announcing when he's going to be back wrestling. Looks like he's taking some time off, so it'll be soon. There was another one who's doing that same show. Lindsay Dorado, he's doing it too. And I mean, there's a lot of people that are going to be around again. So, Tony either has to stop signing people or don't do what you're doing like with Adam Cole and all these other people and have them on every goddamn show. Because now that Mox is back and you have Punk and you have, all these other people, it's like
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, Daniel
more shows.
No, he could just add another YouTube show.
Or just, I don't know, something on another day of the week so that we have even more content to sift through.
And then Cody's back after 2 weeks or a week or whatever the heck his thing was. Well, that's another topic we'll go into. But
we'll get there.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's no room for anybody.
It does make me wonder now that we're real close to the 3-year mark. A lot of the guys who started said they were having 3-year contracts. So are we going to have a lot of the originals re-sign or are we not? You said you don't think Janela's going to re-sign?
No. When was the last time?
You think Janela's even going to be offered a re-sign, or do you think they're just going to let it expire?
No, probably not. I mean, like Tony, obviously, it's apparent to me. I don't know about anybody else, but he plays favorites. Yeah. And when he signed Janela, he was really buddy with him when I saw them at PWG and stuff. And it was like interesting. It's like, okay, because Joey was the flavor of the month then, and I understand that. But dude, Joey Janela is like fucking brilliant, The guy has an eye for talent, and he creatively, he's like probably I'd say one of the best like bookers, creative mind kind of people that are out there now. So,
he's had some
cool I don't know.
Sure. Let me caught up on the chat real quick. Kuro says Hook would get cheered for being in a strip club, but I guarantee if a younger WB star did that, it would be the death of that star. It'd be interesting. I think it all comes down to how it be handled, and depending, I guess, on who depends. But I don't know. Maybe. Grim says he'll be 23 in May. What a start to a career. Spinofox says I thought for sure he would be in trouble for that. For the strip club thing.
Come on, it's Tony Khan.
Yeah, I don't know that Tony Khan knows how to get somebody in trouble. Spitterfuck says, kids hear their parents or other kids in school that are even worse. People just make a big deal out of nothing. It's just toxic internet. That's why I'm done with Twitter. Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah. I think it depends on how it came across, right? So if the video came out with Hook and the internet, because Tony is obsessed with the internet, had a huge negative reaction to it, maybe that we would have seen a different response to it. But since everybody was celebrating it, keep on. And then Spinnerfuck says, I just hope we don't see Hook 40 years later broken with the mishandling of money. It's getting a lot for him.
Oh, that got dark.
Well, no, because I talked about that too. He's getting a lot of fame and a lot of money up front and fast. And because we come from the generation of the child stars turned bad, I'm just a little. Yeah. People are like, oh, protect him, but I'm like, no, like protect him. Like, he could fall down a crazy rabbit hole. I'm just hoping that he's got a strong enough relationship with his dad and stuff, who likely help him, And I think so. But yeah, that was one of my concerns. It's a lot for a young kid. Grimmer says the FUUF and F was a Cartman reference from South Park. Still Still, the joke from Cartman was that he was saying it for the sake of it. They had an episode where they said shit and had a counter in the corner for how many times they said shit, because the idea was that the silliness of thinking it mattered to curse, right? And that's my point, is that they're right. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care about a curse word.
Yeah.
Either side.
Right.
I don't hate them. I don't celebrate them purely for their existence. It is just another word to me. It's just weird. Printer Fox says, I actually missed the beginning of the Mox promo and was excited to see him looking good. Most importantly, him being healthy. He looks in good shape. He thinks Shane Strickland's going to go to Impact. I'm calling it. I think Athena's going to Impact too.
Wait, he'd go back to Impact?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, it's logical.
Yeah.
But I don't know. AEW sure would not know what to do with him. That's all I know. But I will say this. If you do get to see him in your area, go, because he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would love to see Athena in AEW, but thinks Athena's going to go to Impact. They need more vets in the women's locker room to build up younger talent. I don't think that's the issue with AEW. To be honest, I think they have plenty of the world's best women's wrestlers. I think they have a roster of talent who just aren't trained well enough and aren't listening close enough. But you can't tell me that a division that has Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa is in need of more vets.
Yeah.
No.
They just need. They're in need of bigger ears. They need a locker room that's willing to listen to the coaching. At this point, the only people to blame are themselves. They have the coaching ability and the talent, and if they're working with these young talent and they're not getting better exponentially each time, they're the ones not putting in the effort. You know what I mean? So I don't think their issue is a staffing issue, as it were.
It's an ego. It's an ego thing. I mean, you just hit it right there. I mean, people think, oh, I'm on TV and like this, that, their shit doesn't stink. But it's like, you got to put in the work. And then you get the hook complex of, man, here's this guy. Only 3 matches in.
A bit of a hunch that the women's champions both felt like they made it to the top and their shit don't stink.
Yep.
Just from the outside looking in, not even promo-wise, but just watching match by match, there's not significant improvements significantly on each side, and they need that. And I think that there's probably an ego there of, what can you teach me if I'm the champion? And you're like, okay, young buck, let's reevaluate. Well, there's two sides to every wrestler, right? Persona and ability. Persona's there for their champs. Ability needs a little on-the-job training, which is possible if they have big enough ears,
Well, there's even other people who have belts that may or may not be recognized by a certain promotion that, you get complacent. And you can see that. There's a lot of people on that roster who are complacent. So,
Spinner Fox says, Joey wants to stay in AEW. I believe Joey is the talent spotter. If Tony does not sign him, that is a total loss for AEW. He brought as much great talent, Lee, and I could go on and on. Lee Moriarty came from Joey?
I don't know about that, because look at a lot of the people he brought in. They're not really there anymore. Like Marco. I mean, I know he's on The Voice, but still, I don't
think. Spinner Fox says he doesn't think Peter Avalon's going to resign. I don't think you're going to get Peter.
Nope.
I don't think you're going to get Joey. I don't think you get Marco. I don't even know if Leva Bates would resign.
No.
You know what I mean?
I mean, honestly, when I think of like alternative like wrestling, I think I'm way more interested in what GCW is doing.
Oh yeah. GCW is doing some cool shit.
Like, I'm interested enough that they always have a match where I'm like, man, I want to see that live.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, I mean, granted, going to a couple GCW shows and seeing a bunch of them, there's always stuff on there I don't care for. But the energy for GCW is fucking crazy cool.
Yeah.
Even the stuff, so much so it's like, I don't like either person in these matches. I don't like this match. I don't like that match. It doesn't even matter, because the energy of the whole place is such that you're just enjoying being there. Whether you walk away thinking the match is great or not, you're just like, I'm just so glad I was here. You know what I mean? Which is a huge thing. Yeah. Go ahead.
That's like PWG. I mean, PWG for years, that energy that's in that building when it was in Reseda, the Globe, not as much, but I mean, there's still an energy there. But that's what made it like fun to go to. And that's why I like GCW events, because it's that same thing. Like, I might not like I do not do deathmatch. Okay. If you go, I actually will post this photo on my Twitter and in my Instagram. But I had gear one time. The one time I went in LA at the White Claw Cultural Center, I had in my car, I had a really thin, like plastic bag type Oakland A's poncho. I had a hoodie on. I had goggles, the whole nine. I think I even put gloves on. Okay. The first light tube I heard, I ran like a bitch. Now, I'm like, bye. Yeah. Yellow lightning over here. But, God. It was fun. I mean, I'm sure people have seen the one where it was a street fight, Brody King and Nick Gage, and I kind of got trapped. Yeah, because people don't move. That's another thing. People need to move. When there's action is coming to you, you have to move. Because you could get hurt. They could get hurt. I don't want to get hit by Brody King, okay? I'm sorry. No. He's a nice guy, but, I'm sure him hitting you, even if it's fake, kind of hurts. I'm not going to lie. But just things like that. It's a fun kind of energy. And there are some indie promotions that are like that, too. But definitely, I think with some people, and this is why Producers Lady, you guys need to watch West Coast Pro when they show them. Yeah. Because I think that you'll see there's an energy. You guys got to come and go to the state room before they're actually looking at a new venue that's larger. But that's the rumor. But anyways, but like some of these cards are like amazing. I mean, I'm lucky that I get to see Jacob Fatu almost like once a month because, hometown guy, right? And I've been for years like that. And then now that I hear that Thatcher is going to be coming to West Coast Pro as soon as he can. So I'm excited about that because these are all his, the stomping grounds over here. So I'm definitely excited for that. But like today, they just announced ACH is coming back. And so Speedball Mike Bailey, I'm hoping, I've been wanting to, and I've been saying this when I saw Speedball was coming back to the States and his visa issues were done, that I'm like, that's the match I want to see is ACH and Speedball. And I hope, I'm going to get it. I'm hoping, because I had kind of mentioned it before to somebody and, people listen sometimes. So put it in the ether, people.
Yeah, put it out there.
Put it in the ether.
Yeah.
So, but definitely I think that if you can find a promotion or something that's nearby you too, or you can get to go to GCW, it's worth it because there's an energy in some of these things that are just amazing. Like I felt that when I went to Sammy Callahan's promotion, Wrestling Revolver, and that was a fun energy. Really, really fun. So if you like Impact and those kind of guys, they all usually are on that card. But I think that, it's when you find those ones you like. Yeah. Not too pleased with WrestleCon because I saw what's going on there, but it looks interesting, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's why I've been wanting to get to a Mission Pro show.
Yeah.
When we saw that their first pay-per-view and the energy there seemed pretty crazy. And we had a friend go and record stuff for him and send us some little videos here and there.
He loved it.
Oh, he was he was freaking out. He was upset that I wasn't able to afford to sponsor them again because he wanted to go back. And it's like, just buy a ticket, go.
And we were super jazzed when they said they were coming to Arizona, but that got canceled. But we definitely would have been there for that. Yeah. It's just
I would have gone too.
But it's the same concept. There just seems to be an energy out there,
Yeah. Speaking of which, Mission Pro is having a show the end of the month, so.
So anything about, you want to say a name, a date, a place, anything? You just wanted to bring it up without any info? This is wild.
I
You're
was
making her do research. Okay.
Yeah,
She brought it up. I didn't ask.
I didn't okay, so I didn't have it all memorized. I knew the flyer, but I was trying to remember everything.
Yeah.
So January 29th, Crazy Train. It's going to have Holiday. It's going to be on Title Match Network. So you can go to missionprowrestling.net, find out how to watch it. It's super affordable. It's not like you're going to spend, what, $75 or $100. You're supporting Thunder Rosa's all-women's promotion.
I think she's got a few guys on there now.
Does she?
But not a lot. And I think her son's starting to wrestle for them now, too.
Oh, yeah. I think her son was
What was his
wrestling
name?
for her.
He's got a cool name. And he does his face the same with the sugar skull.
He does. I didn't
Yeah.
know he was actually doing stuff with them, though.
Yeah.
I thought it was still just all women's, but
Yeah, there's a couple guys who are in that place, but still, it's still primarily meant to be safe space.
yeah, Gigi Ray, obviously Thunder Rosa, Kylan King. So you just got a ton of women. And if you're obviously in Texas, you should check it out. I wish we could go. I really, really wish we could go to one of their shows.
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa recently posted her match with Martinez. Mercedes Martinez. She posted it on YouTube. Fucking dope.
Yeah.
Spin Fox says, I can't wait for Joey versus Cardona, Ruby versus Allie. I really want to see what Atticus Cougar is going to do. Maybe make the Mox versus Homicide a 3-way. Yeah. All that stuff's been pretty decent.
I'm excited that we get to have a lot of the GCW staples at West Coast Pro this time. So we get to see Effie and Second Gear Crew, because obviously our champ is part of that. AJ Gray, shout out to you, champ. And then we get 44OH, Ricky Shane Page, was it Atticus Cougar, and I can't remember who else. But I'm excited because it's like, damn, this is almost like a GCW card. So that's a really exciting kind of thing. And I think GCW is, I want to say it's that weekend in LA. I think it is.
Yeah.
Because I think, isn't that the one where Thunder Rosa is wrestling Deppen, I think?
Yeah, I was pissed.
Why are you pissed?
Because I don't think I can go to that.
Oh, I know. But you know what? You don't want to go to, no offense, Los Angeles or anybody who's in Southern California right now. That COVID rate, man, that's like the worst place in the world right now. So that's why I'm not going to Bola.
Oh, all right.
Next, not going to Bola.
Fair
I don't want to risk that. That's next week.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of my family's in SoCal.
Yeah, my brother's out in
Hopefully
LA,
they're
so
safe.
I stayed with him last time.
Yeah, my parents are in OC, and so.
But it's
They're
just
crazy
a drive
in
away,
the
so it's not a
OC.
big deal.
All those
They don't care. You got the suburbs.
Yeah.
They don't care.
But Mickey's sitting there with a mask on, so come on.
Yep.
Come on.
Well, to get back on topic, Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
The Moxley return is how it opened up. I thought it was smart to do that opening for him. What'd you think?
Well, it's a good welcome back.
Yeah.
But for me, I'll tell you why I'm not like all excited about it. Same old shit. You know, except he looks a little bit more, I know this is going to sound really rude, but he seems more coherent.
Yes.
He doesn't have that weird glazed look, you know?
Yeah, when he left, I remember we were talking about it, that I just didn't understand what he was talking about. He looked like he was in terrible shape, and I didn't know what was going on. I've had friends pass away from drinking too much, literally drink themselves to death. And I was mentioning it before he left. I was like, he's swollen, like, in the way that they were. And I was like, it's crazy. So for me, this whole thing was a nice welcome back. I've also had a lot of friends go through rehab and come out the other side, and they also are very preachy about what they've learned in rehab. And so to me, this just felt like tough guy preacher, which is fine. But yeah, this is a marathon. You know what I mean? Sobriety is a real thing. Yeah. It's a day in, day out thing. And he came back just kind of like, yeah, I kicked its ass. I won now, and I'm moving on. And it's kind of like, I just hope he keeps that momentum going, because it's a long time struggle and I've again lost people from that struggle. So it's just, for me, I felt more concerned than anything. I thought 90 days sounded like a specific program.
Yeah.
And he completed that program, and now it's business as usual, and I'm just concerned at business as usual. But sometimes that works for people. There's a lot of people who go through one program, and it's the wake-up call they needed. And he has a family. He's got a young daughter. I'm hoping that all those things have made it so this was just his start of a comeback. And like Grim Reaper says, I'm going to give Mox some time to rev himself up again. And that's what I'm hoping for, that it goes. I felt like he could have been a little more honest and a little less wrestler. Because it felt a lot like, I'm going to make this into a wrestling promo and not like I'm going to talk from the heart. And that to me was like, but again, I think it just comes from my history, and just when I talk to the friends who get out of rehab, the stuff I want to talk to them isn't for show. Like, I want to hear from your heart, and I just didn't feel like we heard from his heart very much. It sounded like I'm gonna cut a wrestling promo. The whole like, I've been through hell, and what are you gonna do to me in the ring? And it's like, okay, we can do that one next. We can do that later. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of time to do the what are you going to do to me that I haven't done to myself line. I just didn't want to hear it immediately. It was just like, oh, we're going straight to being a wrestler now. And so it was cool. I'm happy he's back. He does look great, but he also does look exactly like someone who stopped drinking for 90 days. Like, all that swelling is gone.
Yeah.
All of his color is back. Like, he looks awesome. He looks awesome. Yeah. I'm just saying, keep that momentum. Keep it going, you know?
Well, I was going to say, maybe there are some people who can't really emote themselves be more personal and turn off the wrestler. Some people don't want to do it.
That's a good
point. But, so I mean, it's hard to say.
And you could tell.
I don't know him, so I can't.
That's a great point. And I bet you that's what it is. I bet you he's just like, you don't ever get me. You always get the character. Because the second he came out, immediately he had James Dean face on. And I was like, we're doing this already. Like, doing the dramatic. No one looks like that. Their brow ruffled, like. So that's probably what it is. He's just protecting himself and just not giving that side of himself, and nor should he have to. But it just comes from a place of concern and wanting him to be the best him he can be for the people who he knows, because I've buried too many people who weren't able to get to that point, and so I don't want to see that become a story, or his story. So I'm really excited for him. He does look great. He's got to keep this momentum going, and I hope he does. Splinter Fox says, I'm concerned for him to go to the GCW event because they're sponsored by a beer company. I hope he brings some people that will protect him just in case. I also don't get the impression he's the type of dude to be hanging out.
Yeah.
Like, having been, I don't know, he's going to the Hammerstone Ballroom, right? I don't think he's going there to hang out for the whole time. And I don't think he's hanging out after. I think he shows up, does his thing, and leaves. Especially now, more than ever. Like, I'm not saying that that's how he is at all the AEW shows or anything, but having been to a GCW event, there was a lot of guys who came and went through the back. Not everyone. The locker rooms aren't typically even that big, but Hammerstein's obviously bigger. But I'm guessing and hoping for his sake, like you said, there's probably going to be fucking cases and cases of PBR everywhere. That he shows up.
And the Claw.
Yeah.
Truly.
I'm assuming because it's also New York and it's the Hammerstein, there's a lot of places he can hang out in that area and wait for his call. You know what I mean? Let me know when the match before me is over, and I'll be in the ring on time. That's how I would play it, but who the fuck am I? What do I know? I'm just a drunk.
I do want to say this, speaking of Mox.
Yeah.
So I was like looking, because obviously, there's some figures, the AEW figures that I want that are going to be coming out. So I've been looking at ringside collectibles. Well, anyways, there was a thing that they did, one of those dual packs. Now I didn't know who exactly it was, but it was a Mox, because they showed Mox, and he, was all bloodied and had the bat and everything with the barbed wire on it. And I thought, oh my God, how cute. They're going to do a pack where it's going to be, Mox, and it was Mox and Omega, but what would have been really cute? And I would have bought a shitload of these and given them out to people, is if they had Mox with fucking Kingston laying on top of him, on the sparklers.
If they make that, buy me one.
You totally missed that. Because my money, I'd be just shoving it out there.
Yeah. Grim Reaper's
More
got
so
a good
than
question
probably
about him.
Hook gave the stripper. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, they'll probably have a hooker or Hook with a stripper first before they
Or
have Kingston
come
laying on
on.
top of.
Or
I bet
Hooker.
you get a Don Callis laying on top of Kenny Omega before you get a Kingston on top of Mox.
Oh, come on. Oh.
69 me, Don. Grim Reaper does have a good question. I wonder who Mox's opponent would be to jumpstart him. Someone who can take a loss to Mox because he isn't losing his first feud back. I mean, I'll be honest with you. A lot of that roster takes a lot of losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just depends on who's going to want to do what story, right? Because I do think that Mox and Kingston could be an incredible story if they're willing to tell it a second time a different way. I think that, I mean, you could obviously feed him whoever, but you want him to have a story, right? Splinter Fox says Ethan Page is facing him first, so who knows? Ethan Page could take a loss. He's not winning anyways.
Well, he's not wrestling. Not winning. There's a difference. Hashtag
Slight
truth.
difference.
It's like a little difference.
Slight difference.
But no, I mean, seriously, it's like, okay, now, for those people who thought the chairman was going to lose to Punk, you kidding me? I'm telling you guys, and you've heard it here first, so remember when this happens, you know exactly damn well who's been saying this forever right now. Punk's first loss is not going to be MJF for any of these people. We all know who it's going to be. It's going to be goddamn Colt Cabana. And you know what? He might even have to retire after that, because what do you do from there? Nothing else. Just wear mom jeans, dude, and chill with the Dark Order.
Just hang out, yeah.
Yeah, you're making a lot of money anyways from pro wrestling tees, so you know.
Fox says, I mean, he had a great match versus Cody, just saying. Yeah, I mean, Mox has had great matches with a ton of guys. He could do an awesome one with MJF again, I was thinking, but, like, how would it work out? Fox says, I haven't even seen Colt. Will he even be re-signed? Because of his connection with pro wrestling tees, I don't think that they can take him out. No. And he goes, maybe Punk blackball him. Oh, like maybe Punk might have him not re-signed specifically?
No. Because first of all...
Can you imagine? Hold on. Tell me what you think in a second. But wouldn't it be so funny if they don't re-sign Colt and all pro wrestling tees go up by $5 a shirt? He's like...
So you're saying the Colt Cabana tax...
Yep.
that the wrestlers already pay will go up to now maybe $6. No. You know, here's the thing. Colt was not one of the original signees. It took a while for them to get him.
Yeah. Part
of it was Ring of Honor. Part of it was when his contract ended with Ring of Honor. I don't know if he was thinking about it or whatnot, because it was never really said. And then all of a sudden, there he is, which is understandable.
Going on with NWA too, right? At the time?
He was also doing NWA too, but actually he was doing both.
Yeah.
So, but Colt can do whatever he wants, because that is the true godfather of modern independent wrestling. So they let him do whatever he kind of wants. So like right now he's in Australia, you know, and whatever, you know, doing comedy, wrestling, whatever, you know. But I will say that they won't, because the Bucks, all of those guys, the Bucks, Cody, Kenny Omega, all of them, a lot of the money that they've made came from those T-shirts and came from Colt Cabana and how he used to market himself. All of that, they all learned from him. That's why he's the godfather. So, no, they're not going to do that. No. And I don't think that Punk would ever say, oh, no, don't re-sign him. No, because he even knows too that, you know, you kind of can't do that, because there's a lot of politics that go behind it. So, yeah. So that's why they need to beat the shit out of each other. Let Colt get the win, Okay. Then he can do whatever he wants, and Punk can, whatever. That's all. That's all. I mean, it's written in the cards. But when it happens, I'm going to be in the front row, and I'm also going to bring a sign. So when Colt beats him, you will see me, because I will be on hard cam, and it'll say, "I told you so." Episode 1. There you go. Marsh makes me a nice little sign.
Oh, yeah.
I will totally hold that up. Be obnoxious.
Yeah. Sometimes he hasn't seen Twitch in a while. Instead of force it again.
No, because he's been in Australia.
He thinks it's going to be Paige. He goes, AEW don't really need Punk, just saying. I mean, they
don't need a lot of people.
Well, that's true. But after that, let's see. There was some, I mean, the Orange Cassidy Adam Cole stuff was what it was. I didn't care for any of it. CM Punk versus Shawn Spears. My favorite Shawn Spears match of all time, I'll be honest. He went out and got hit once and lost the match. It was like 30 seconds, and Spears.
And his entrance was like 20 minutes.
Yeah, his entrance took forever. He goes out there, gets kicked in the face, he's done, and that was it. And I was like, "This is great. This is exactly how you should use Spears." Cody Rhodes promo is the other one everyone's talking about.
Cody?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Very wordy.
Well, duh, his
very
self-aggrandizing. But
go ahead.
I was gonna say, when he first came out, or before, and you saw, the way, the stage was lit, we knew what was coming.
Yeah.
Was it me, or was everyone just booing and could give a fuck, care less?
Yo, they were chanting "Shut the fuck up" at him.
Oh, they were. Oh, I didn't hear that.
While he was trying to, and then that's why he started saying CM Punk so loud, because he was trying so hard to get them to cheer. He was talking about CM Punk, so that way they would just cheer the word CM Punk. It wasn't about. It was crazy weird, man. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why we needed an interim champion for 1 week just so we could have this ladder match, just so he could cut this promo and call himself, say that he's so important. He referred to it as his own pipe bomb interview. He just was really, really pushing ego and self on that one, and maybe it's part of a larger story of him turning heel. That's possible, but
I'm not ever gonna go heel.
Yeah. But I also
feel
like
the name dropping of the different wrestlers.
Yeah.
Darby.
Name drops.
Oh, my friend Ricky Starks.
Yeah. All right. So what else do you like?
Yeah. Was there anything about the promo that you liked? Because people were talking about it, and I just didn't understand why when I saw it.
I didn't understand what the point was.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it just they're feeding his ego, or? Because honestly, I'd rather watch Dan Lambert just run his mouth than.
That's funny.
Cody.
But we did get Brody King having his first match at AEW with Malachi Black. What'd you think?
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, I was kind of thinking like, well, what are they going to call themselves? Because, it's been kind of confusing on AEW. Is it like they're, House of Black? Yeah. Are they, kings of the Black Throne? I mean, what are they going to do? But when Justin Roberts did announce them that they're the kings of the Black Throne from the House of Black, I'm like, oh, okay. That entrance. Let me talk about that entrance. Mm-hmm. We already know that I love me a Malachi Black entrance because it's just so. Every one of them just so intense and it just like is chilling, Yeah. This one with Brody, oh my God! Like I'm pretty sure they came out like this at PWG. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not gonna be able to see until like 20 years later when the DVD comes out. But I will say that it was kind of cool where you have Malachi in that I don't even know what animal it is. Is it a deer? Is it? I don't know.
I think it's a deer.
I don't know. Whatever kind of animal that was. Thank you for your sacrifice because it's cool. I know it's not real, but you know what I mean.
Probably is.
But with him coming out like that, and then having Brody who towers over him with his whole, like I like to call it, the Van Nuys thug thing with the whole, with, the ski mask and the, the varsity jacket and the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's very telling. And especially when with having the lights go out and, that whole timing of it, oh my God, blew me away. And then with the whole thing when Malachi's on the floor, takes the mask off and gives it to that right there, that image was so strong to me. And I was just like, chills, goosebumps. Like, that's, if you're going to do a longer type of entrance, that's the kind of ones you want. Is you want something, I think, that makes you kind of think a little like, what the hell are we in for? Because I know apparently there's been rumors around that people didn't really know, the AEW crowd does not really know who Brody King is. Well, first of all, you shouldn't be watching wrestling if you didn't know. And you shouldn't call yourself a wrestling fan or fan of AEW, because you know what? All these people are mostly indie people. And if you don't know who Brody King is, then you're an ass. You need your wrestling card taken away.
But people do need to start somewhere. And if you don't know who he is,
Yeah, I know, but for people who like to run their mouths about how they feel and da-da-da, and because that's the AEW crowd.
That's true. There's a lot of ego out there that...
A lot of ego. But you know what? If you can't say, like, if you can't tell me, like, I don't know, something real basic, like a basic fact of someone was, did you know that, I don't know, something real basic. I don't know, like, Luchasaurus. Okay. He was on, well, they don't really talk about it on AEW because it kills the gimmick, brother. But, he was on Big Brother.
Yeah.
And, it was weird. He still sucks, Or a lot of them don't even know, like with Ryan Nemeth, who his brother is.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
Weird. That's just it, too. Like, for the amount of people who have a whole lot of opinions about Marty Scurll, but also don't know who Brody King is, it's a little weird because they were in that faction together for so long. So, if you know one, you should probably know the other.
Yeah.
So if you're that vocal, I would just imagine you'd be that read up on it. Now, Spinfox has a couple questions here, though. He says, real quick, shooting back to the Cody thing, he goes, I have a theory. I think Cody's going to lose to heel Sammy because Sammy's a true heel, but Cody is not signed, in quotes. That's right. They reported that his contract lapsed and he hasn't re-signed, so he's working on a per-show basis, which was leaked out to the newsletters, which I think is specific. He goes, so my theory is that since he is a free agent, in quotes, he could challenge for the AEW title and win it and become a true heel. I've heard a lot of people think that that's what's going to happen. That Cody's going to use this free agency thing as if I'm not under contract, then I don't have to abide by that rule that I would never go for the world title. I do think if he took the title off Paige, it would make him a huge heel. I also think that I'm past the period of being interested in Cody as a champion. Early on, I definitely wanted him to be a champion early, but I think the company's moved so far forward that I feel like it would be a huge step backward, and I feel like that it would be a weird, non-necessary thing. I would be lame to me, but a lot of people think that's what's going to happen. What do you think about that, the idea of Cody getting the championship?
Hate to say it, probably more likely than not. I mean... Because everyone knows, come on, that dude started the company, he ain't going anywhere. But it's a great storyline to plot out this free agency and, I'm never going to fight, with these other belts. Yeah, he's going to get it. He's going to do it because it's like, hey, hold on. Yeah. Hold on. I'll just let it ring. Yeah. Our sales office is closed.
Oh.
Anyways.
But go ahead.
But yeah,
I think it's possible. I'm just not excited about that concept. I would have been probably a year and a half ago. I would have been like, that's sick. Great.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm like, just past it.
Yeah, I think if we weren't sick of him, then maybe it'd be okay. But
that's true.
There's too much. It's like, if you went away seriously for like a couple of months.
That's true. He's
lost a lot I don't think he would ever do.
Well, he does it
even
every
if it
time
was
he's got to go film.
once.
I think he's
Yeah.
lost a lot of good graces, is what you're saying. But so back to Brody and Malachi, though. Spin Fox says, I want to see Pac. And who does he pick to help him with the House of Black? Will it be Penta or someone new we haven't seen? Do you think it's going to be
Someone
Flip
new we
Gordon?
haven't seen.
Or PCO?
Or PCO.
I think it'd be cool if it was PCO.
My secret want is Marty. But
does Marty have any business with Malachi or just Brody?
well, he used to be in a tag, 3-man tag with him and Zack Sabre Jr. Euro Trash. Never got to see them, by the way.
Interesting.
I'm excited for March because I finally get to fucking see Malachi Black wrestle.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He was like one of the ones for me that I used to watch from watching like Progress and all these, other things for a long time that I'm like, oh, I've always wanted to see him. And of course, when he was at PWG, it was the hardest times ever to get tickets to go to Reseda. And so I was like, because that was one of my bucket list things was I wanted to either get to see Eurotrash or see him wrestle along with my other one, which was I wanted to see the leaders of New School, which is Skrull and Sabre Jr. And I did. I got to go the first time they ever did it in probably about 7 years. So, and the first time in the States. So I was so excited about that. Oh, fangirl. Hard fangirl.
Dope. Yeah, we got to see him against Ciampa at that takeover in Phoenix. That was sick.
Ooh, nice.
But I agree. I think it's going to be somebody we haven't seen yet because I think that at this point, they've got to do stuff to keep things fresh. And at this point, I know that Pac disappears for such long periods of time. To me, I'm not all that interested in Death Triangle anymore. So if they got back together, I'd just be like, oh, we're doing that again? So I think this is something to keep it a little bit fresh.
I don't know about you, but I think it devalued Pac being part of that little faction. Didn't do anything for him.
Didn't do anything. And that's what I mean. That's why it just seemed like this weird gimmick thing they did from time to time. That's why I wouldn't be that interested. They never built enough steam that made me go like, oh, this is exciting and cool. You just go, oh, they team up sometimes, I guess. Spinner Fox says, oh, and will Julia do a swerve and turn on the blondes and act like she is going to be with Black and swerve to help Pac and join that stable? I don't think it'll be that complicated. I think Julia's going to join the House of Black.
Yeah, I thought she'd turn last night.
Yeah, me too.
But I was wrong.
Yeah, I think it's just everything they're so telegraphed all the time. I just can't imagine they would do an honest swerve. Like the fact that she's warming up to House of Black, she's going to go be part of House of Black soon. I think it's just how they do it. Not a lot of nuance. Spinner Fox says, Ryan is the brother of the guy from Spirit Squad, and then says, what if it could be Keith Lee, the size to face King? I mean, sure. I think that the pop then becomes a Keith Lee intro pop, and I don't know if that's what you want to do with House of Black. I think that, because I also think the House of Black's going to win, whatever this feud is. So I think that's why it'd have to be somebody like a PCO that people already have enough feeling from and have seen win and lose enough times that it wouldn't be this big, shocking, horrible thing. Or it could be Death Triangle just for that same reason. We'll have him come in and lose and then move on. Yeah. But I think it would diminish Keith Lee if he came in and immediately lost to House of Black, and I don't think that he would win against them.
No.
House of Black's too powerful.
Keith Lee, I think they would set up for something else. Not, Yeah, he'd be his own entity.
Yeah.
Or, since obviously you're doing mixed tag now, intergender, him and Mia Yim that'd be great.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed by that. When I saw that they were doing the mixed tag, I thought, oh, this is cool. AEW's always talked about potentially doing intergender. That's what that fan base has always talked about and likes. And then they went in there with
who it was.
No, but they did the rules like WWE does. It was WWE mixed match rules where the women tag in and it tags out the other person. And so I just was bummed by that. I was hoping they'd have their own rule set or something that would have made it more interesting. But because it was just the WWE rules, I went, I was less interested. Let's see. There was a couple things here. Spinner Fox says, Pac needs to be champion, but I understand why he can't hold the title right now due to travel. I don't know if he needs to be champion. I think he's fine doing what he's doing. Kazarian and Lance Archer was a thing. Sky Blue and Serena Deeb was fine.
Ooh,
Go ahead and talk about it.
Serena Deeb, man.
Yeah, she's good.
She is in a level beyond. And it was what you're saying about ears, you know? I mean, now that Mercedes Martinez is around, you've got a woman like her. You've got Thunder Rosa. You've got, even in some, like, I'll even put Sheeta in there because Sheeta's actually pretty good. But I know of the Joshis, I think she's the best one, but that's just me. But I really think that with Serena Deeb, man, shit, she's showing, at least lately, like, this is what women's wrestling should be. And I kind of love that. But again,
I like
there's
the
subpar
Professor
players.
Pro wrestling thing.
You know,
It's got Professor.
I love that. I think that's great. And then just kind of that fire and that passion. I'm sitting there like, damn, like I wish they had more matches like that. I mean, because I thought Sky Blue was, did a really great job with that. And they worked well together. And I really think that, I enjoy matches like that are women's matches.
Yeah.
The ones that are like, oh, it's a women's match, I'm going to go get a beer or I'm going to go pee. No, I mean, because when you have people that are actually really skilled and, because I'm pretty sure, because Sky Blue is pretty good, but I'm sure she probably learned a thing or two with working with Serena this time. So it'll be interesting to see next time when she wrestles,
Yeah.
Does she pick up anything, things like that. So.
That'd be cool. Fact brings up a good point too. Marina Shafir has a T-shirt that came out and it showed Shop AEW on it, so it's an AEW shirt. She's killer. She's dope. Like, she'd be great to have.
Marina Shafir, man, shit, she's, I think, where WWE kind of failed her. She's really excelling at what she does. Because, like, I love Shayna, and I always thought Marina was very, very underrated.
Yeah.
Of the three of them, because it's always all about Ronda. But no, I'm like, no, she's pretty damn good.
Yeah, she was great. We saw her at the GCW Bloodsport.
Mm-hmm.
She was up against I can't remember the Russian's name. She was with a crazy badass Russian girl.
Yeah.
Woman.
Was it Masha?
Yeah, Masha.
Slamovich?
Yeah,
oh,
Masha
love
Slamovich.
Masha.
It was Marina and Masha, and I was like, fucking hell, like, that was a match, man. Like, that was awesome.
Masha is badass.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen her when she came to West Coast Pro, and oh god, I was like, this fucking chick, fucking badass.
Yeah, I was more scared of the two of them than almost every match before them. Because the other matches before, you're like, this is pretty cool.
Wait, you didn't see Gage, right?
I saw Gage the next night. He wasn't on
Oh,
Bloodsport.
okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Fox says Masha's an Impact. Yeah, I saw she signed there, so that's cool. Well, let's wrap up Dynamite. Producer Lee was asking about it before. A lot of people have been talking about him. Sting. Or if you want to be all Shivani like, Sting!
That's a good impression.
Yeah.
I thought it was Shivani there for a second.
What do you think? What do you think of the match and Sting specifically? A lot of people, I hear more people talking about Sting in this match than anything else, which is funny to me, strictly because this is the first time Darby Allin ever got the pin for his team, and everyone's going, yeah, but Sting, and I was like, god damn it, they can't just get Darby over. Like, not saying he's not over. Darby's very, 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 very fan friendly. The fans love Darby, but in every Darby Sting match, no one talks about Darby afterwards. And I was like, son of a bitch, the whole point of this is to make Darby a bigger star. And you're definitely, I mean, now you have a whole story with Matt Hardy and Andrade trying to buy Sting's little boy. Like, they're undermining Darby so much. And it's all like, come on. Yeah. It's insane.
Man.
It's insane. But
Jeez.
that's the only reason I thought it was funny, just because to me, I'm all like, well, the whole point of this clearly is to get Darby to be a megastar. Why else would you pair him with Sting this way? Papa Sting.
Yeah, but
the way they're doing it, everyone talks about Sting.
I know. That and his little boy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Hook escaped let's buy Taz's little boy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I guess, he escaped that. But anyway, no, okay, first of all, I was excited because there was snow.
Yep.
So that's coming back.
No!
No! Yes. So I was like, hey. But what was interesting was I'm like, I don't think, well, maybe, okay, take this back. Sting did a lot more than he normally does.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
That's what I was asking myself. Is it a good thing?
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But
because
I don't know.
I was seeing mixed reviews, and I just, again, don't want to see him get hurt. But if he's, in there with people who are being safe, like, cool.
Well,
if he's telling cool stories, dope.
Here's what I saw in that spot. Spin Fox says it. I can't believe Sting did a stage dive on a table. I was like, what the hell? I don't know if it's a good what the hell or bad what the hell.
Or if this is just what he really wants to do.
Yeah, and there was someone else who said that the Sting didn't come back for a paycheck. He came back to rewrite the end of his legacy.
Right.
I could see both sides, to be honest. I don't think that the money wasn't a factor.
Yeah.
I think that the first conversation they had was about money. And I think at this point, he's very excited about the idea of what he can make the end of his career look like. But I think starting out, I think it was absolutely money. Because he came out for fucking months and didn't say or do anything. He was absolutely cashing a check. And he makes one appearance of show. I think it's very specific. But either way, Spring Fox says it was a scary what the hell. Here's the deal, right? So he dives off, and people are like, it's crazy he's doing this at 60 years old. And I'm like, it is crazy because also he looked like a 60-year-old diving off of the thing. He had kind of a weird crouched posture.
Yeah.
Like someone who wasn't clearly saying, if I fall on my face, I fall on my face. He's like, I better not hurt myself. Is how he felt. It was with the hesitation, right? Which is also fine because still at 60, that's fucking badass.
Yeah.
But the other thing I noticed was the guy who was there to take the fall fucking like
what?
Hunched down in such a way that it was like Sting was not about to have a you better be there to catch me moment. It was like, if you don't catch me, the entire locker room's waiting back there to beat the shit out of you. You know what I mean? Like, it was like the dude looked like nervous about the whole moment, and fucking Sting just takes him the fuck out and lands on him in every way. That dude couldn't have been a better beanbag. He was the Dawkins of AEW, which was perfect because you need that, right?
All right.
There's a lot of people who've been scattered away when someone's taking a dive, and this dude's all like, destroy me, my body's ready. Like, he couldn't have been a better crash test dummy.
So no one got hurt.
No one got hurt.
Okay.
Because that dude was where he was supposed to be and fucking hunkered down like a rhino. And he said, just fucking do it! With his eyes closed,
Good.
And Sting just ended looking like fucking like a missile, laid him out. Splinter Fox says, just keep Sting away from Sammy and all the unsafe ones. He did like a belly flop. Yeah, it was like this weird belly flop thing, but it was on that guy. It wasn't much into the table. It was just body on body. It didn't even look like his fucking knee hit the ground. It just fell on another part of the dude. Yeah. So in that regard, I was all like, in the moment, I was like, holy shit. And then as I watched his posture, I was like, oh no. And then the way he laid out that dude, I was like, that guy is a fucking hero. Just like, take me. I couldn't tell who it was just because I'm not as familiar with the Acclaimed, but it was one of them, and they did a great job. And then Sting just stood up right away, and I was like, you could have at least sold a little bit, like,
Please.
like it hurt you.
AEW is like king of the no cells. Come on now.
Yeah, but he immediately stood up and he's like, woo! And you're all like, fuck.
Oh,
Sting's out here doing it.
Yeah, if everyone's supposed to be a cartoon there, then that works.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know that I want to see Sting doing that regularly. Also, a bunch of the bumps he was taking was on picture-in-picture. Do you think these guys know when they're on commercial?
Oh.
Because the red light's the red light, and if it's on picture-in-picture, they got the same red light, right?
Yeah, I think the refs know, but not because they have the earpiece, but not.
Yeah. But the ref can't tell everybody every time. But I feel like CM Punk knows, because I feel like CM Punk's constantly talking to the refs, and they tell him because he does sleeper holds on commercials.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan does taunting on commercials. He knows. But these other guys, they're doing crazy shit during the commercials, and I was like, there's no way they don't.
They're not
there's
trained
no way they can
that
know.
way. They're not trained for TV.
Yeah. They're just missing a bunch of shit. Spinner Fox says Cody does too. Yeah, I think Cody's very adamant. Tell me when you go to a picture-in-picture or not. tell me what we're doing. And Spinner Fox says he took a back bump so nothing could go wrong to Sting. Yeah, the guy was like hunched over, and as Sting hit him, he fucking laid back, flattened out like a pancake. He did a tremendous job. Hit me, 60-year-old man. The opposite of Zach Galifianakis, where he's like, I will hit an old man in public. So, but yeah, I mean, I do think we're at a different gear of Sting. I think when we first saw him, a lot of what he was doing was, what can he do to provide a presence to the company and make good money? And I think we just saw him shift into a gear of, I can have a whole nother back end of my career and really end this in a way that I don't have to say never anymore. I think that there's a certain part of these guys that when the career doesn't end in the way they want, they always have this, well, never say never, because there's something in the back of their mind that's, well, it wasn't quite perfect. Like, look at Batista. They asked him recently if he would ever come back. He goes, not at all. He said something like he would rather, it was some horrible fucking thing of something he would rather do or have done to him than ever wrestle again. And it's because he finally got to have the way he wanted his career to end. He had that little story with Triple H and had the street fight with Triple H at Mania, and that's how he wanted his career to end, and it did. So it's really easy for him to say, absolutely not. I'll go broke before I ever wrestle again. That might be what he said.
No, I don't think he will.
Yeah, but I'm saying because there's nothing in the back of his mind of it not being the way he wanted it to, like it used to be. It was a lot of never say never until then, and I think Sting's in that same boat of never say never. And I think now he's like, wait a second, I can put closure on this in a way that I'll never think that I want to do it again because I don't want to disrupt that perfection. Much the same as Shawn Michaels said for years he was never going to come back because his career ended perfectly, and then he had that one hiccup in Crown Jewel or whatever, and then said, yep, I was right the first time. I'm definitely not doing that again. But Spin Fox says they don't listen, and it pisses me off too. Oh, about the Throne commercial. And goes, to be fair, Sting looked way better in this match than he did to the FTR match. That FTR match was, he was hella winded. That's what I mean. I think he's in a different gear. I think that he's doing more to have that back end of his career. So I think we're actually about to see some of the coolest shit from Sting, is what I'm trying to say. Sting's right now can't miss. I think he's in that gear. And I think before it was Sting doing Sting stuff. Cutting out his little promos with Shivani. Hooting and hollering. Standing there staring around with Darby. He was there to be Darby's guy. I think now we're about to see don't miss Sting because he's trying to put a punctuation on his career. And he doesn't want his career to end softly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's cool. I was excited about that aspect because it looks to me like it's new gear Sting. Mm-hmm. But what the hell do I know? If I'm down to do guts.
So what else was cool on that show?
That was it. That was it.
You know,
was it?
Anything else? Anything else for Dynamite? What?
Well, here's the thought I had about with the Sting thing.
Yeah.
Because he was doing a lot more than he normally does. Do you think that maybe the Acclaimed were the only people who were probably, yeah, we'll do that, you know, because some people might be concerned for his safety.
That's a good point. Thinking that. You could have people where he's like, I want to dive, and they're like, no, I'm not going to catch you. I am bad at catching.
No. Or I don't want to catch you because I don't want to be the one responsible for you getting injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to fucking Sammy Guevara you, so we can't have this.
No. Oh, I think yesterday's Dynamite, if I am not mistaken, was like injury free. So you know how, companies have those signs, this workplace has been blah, 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 many days injury free. Yeah. That's how I felt about last night. It was like, this is one show injury free.
Did it. We did it. We got through one.
The first in 3 years?
Yeah.
First
in 3 years. But we finally made one. That's progressed. Especially because there were such dramatic injuries last week.
God.
Guys, please stop doing this.
Yeah.
The fucking Tony Khan rally just before the thing. Guys, just
Safety
I swear
first,
to God,
guys.
Please. I can't have your arms rip out of sockets on TV every week. This is...
Yeah.
Is there any way we could avoid some of this disgustingness we replay?
But he also had a 60-year-old man do belly flops on people
Yeah, but
who's, kind of injured. So, I mean, yeah.
Spinfox says a Sting versus Cody has to happen. That long-term storytelling. His first entry to AEW was a Darby and Cody. Sting versus Cody, that might be his retirement match. Just saying, I'd be fine with that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's really long-term storytelling, but because I don't think they've had any other interactions besides that, and it's not. You can't ignore something for a year and just say, yeah, but it's long-term. No, you just ignored it for a year. Or in this case, like 2. No, a year. But at the same time, I agree with you. I think that would be a cool way to circle back to, but I don't think I would call it long-term storytelling. It just would be a cool return. And he goes, I hope Pride and Powerful finally leave the inner circle. That stable should have ended by now. Yeah, I think it looks like it's dismantling, and I'm excited about that.
Same here.
Do you think they're dismantling inner circle because Jericho shows up at Royal Rumble?
Possibly.
Why not? Fuck it. We got Mickey James in the Rumble.
When's the Royal Rumble?
29th, 21st.
Next week.
Next week.
Next week.
Next week. Oh, okay.
Next Saturday.
Well,
so we have a Rampage and a Dynamite and a Rampage, I think, before Rumble. So we've got 3 shows that we could dismantle Inner Circle and have Jericho ready for the Rumble and his new WWE career.
Possibly. But also, they did cancel the Jericho cruise.
They did cancel all the cruises.
And I don't even think that he, I thought he was supposed to be touring with Fozzy.
Yeah.
That's why he was going to be away for a little bit, but I don't know.
But then he had a non-COVID related terrible throat and lung issue that was cleared up in about 2 weeks. But it took him out of the tour. And then they had the really cool show where they would play the CD of their album and do a Q&A. And then he would allow you to sing 2 karaoke tracks to him as fans. They would play 2 versions without, so the audience could sing to him. Very exciting stuff.
Oh, God.
Sounds like a great
Hang me. Yep. Well,
he promoted it probably differently, but that's how I read it.
If he does go back to WWE, I hope they'll let him do Judas over there as his entrance, and everyone can sing along.
No, fuck that.
Yes, because then we're rid of that for a while.
Yeah, we can get rid. No, go back to Break the Walls. This is the greatest entrance. Either way, Spinner Fox says, I'm sick of these WWE Rumble roomies. WWE fanboys just want to take part of this Forbidden Door stuff. That's so funny that's your take. I also think it's funny that there's people who are freaking out about people who are speculating weird, dumb shit. The funny part is just saying it.
All right.
And being like, can Jericho show up? Yeah, sure. And then other people's like, this is bullshit.
Let him have his fun takes.
It's my fun take. His take is that WWE fanboys want a part of the fruit. So now they've got all these theories. No one's got theories. We're all fucking off. We're all joking.
Want to know my theory?
Yeah, go ahead.
That'd be great. And producer lady probably will co-sign this.
Okay.
Is what would be great is if John Cena showed up at the Royal Rumble.
I was gonna say Cena.
Chaps.
I was gonna say Cena with his ass out or something.
With his ass out as Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Comes out with the Peacemaker helmet with his ass hanging out. That would be good.
And eagerly.
Oh.
I don't know how they could do it. Disney knows about the animatronics, man.
Well, Matt Riddle has the birds fly out of his asshole. Why can't we have Eagly?
That's a good point.
We don't need the Eagly flying out of his asshole. Come on.
Why not?
I would love to see Eagly give him a hug, or whoever wins, Eagly fly over, give him a hug, and then peck the shit out of him with his beak. I don't know. You know.
No. Spinner Fox says it's Mox. It is Mox is going to be in the Rumble, then Ospreay's going to be in the Rumble. He's like, blah, blah, blah. You get Moose, WWE fanboys. I just think it's funny because it also gets everyone else all in its his. Because here's the problem. If Mox did show up, it would be really fucking cool, but I don't think anyone would expect him to stay. It would be a funny little spot, and everyone in AEW would be like, but fuck them. And everyone in WWE is like, that was fun, right? That's what makes me laugh about it. Or
what would be funny is if he came and he took the belt away from Roman.
Yeah.
And then him and Rollins were like, well, what the fuck? Yeah.
I think it'd be really fun if he did a single appearance there and screws Roman out of the title in the Seth Roman match and then disappears into the crowd and just goes back to what he was doing with AEW, and it's just never really brought up again. Just
All
like
the
a
while,
weird
while
fucking
thing is playing in the background, and he goes through the
Wow
crowd,
thing,
and
yeah. It'd just be fun stuff. That's the point of all of this, is just to have fun. You guys want to take it
Okay,
seriously?
so when this does happen,
Yeah.
Marsh will tell you. You heard it here first.
Heard it here first. No doubt.
Yep.
You want to talk NXT?
Yes.
NXT.
Next.
NXT. NXT. It opened up with LA Knight.
So great. I love any LA Knight segment.
Yeah.
Such a
Yeah.
good talker. He's such a good talker.
Yeah.
I have a theory.
Go ahead.
I have a theory that what if they're prepping him to be GM?
Prepping what?
LA Knight
To
be a GM.
a GM.
Yes, a general manager.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's an empty role right now, right? It's a really important role. I mean, those are really, really big shoes to fill.
What do you think, Amanda?
Wait, whose role?
Well, because there's no GM there now. There's no like Regal
Oh,
or
at
Joe
NXT?
in NXT. So she thinks.
Oh, I
they're-
thought you were trying to say it in one of the other brands. No.
No,
That
NXT.
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean,
I
didn't
think
think of
he
that.
would excel in that role, but I don't think that that's where they're going with it at all.
Okay.
That's just
Yeah.
I don't. There's nothing about him that's coming off as anything more than wrestler who's ready to kick some asses.
Okay.
Sort Fox says you all know Mickie James is going to be jobbing at the Rumble, and they are going to have her Impact belt in a trash bag on her way out of the arena. That's funny. But imagine if Mickie James wins, then you get Mickie James versus Charlotte Flair, champion versus champion.
Wait. Can Mickie James throw a trash bag at Charlotte Flair?
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
And she should scream,
Me
"You
too.
should be in here, not my stuff."
Oh, this was in my bag, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bitch. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't go that far. I left it at the trash bag.
But
I went that
and then,
far.
And then Mickie James can wrestle in front of more than 15 people a week at Impact.
Hey.
Just kidding.
Hey.
I'm kidding.
There's like 20. Come on now.
At least 20.
Give him a little
on Twitter.
credit.
Come on.
Yeah. But so I thought fucking LA Knight was doing awesome here. The Waller back and forth with them was really good. They had a point where the crowd was chanting asshole.
Yep.
And they had to bleep like almost 3 sentences or so of Waller's. Just no audio. And I was like, see, this is the problem with the fans thinking that they're a huge part of the show and not just being there and reacting organically. The biggest problem I have with NXT, honest to God, the thing that makes it hardest to watch every week is the fans that are
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
there. Those fans are trying to get themselves over. They're trying to...
Steal the show.
they're trying to unorganically force a reaction or a response. Something's happening. Oh, we're going to respond this way so people think that this is what we all feel like. No, just do the thing you feel like.
Yeah.
You know, just
You know what I
cheer.
noticed?
What?
Is a lot of the fans who are at NXT now are also, when you see them tape Dark and Dark Elevation in Orlando, same fans.
They're there.
Yep.
I hope they shit on that show too.
It's really interesting to me because I really enjoy the NXT UK fans.
Yes.
I feel like they know when to cheer. They cheer like, I don't know, in a supporting kind of way. Like they're supporting whatever story is happening.
They're organically loving what they're seeing and responding accordingly.
Yeah, it doesn't ever feel like they're interrupting or they're trying to steal the show. It feels like they're a great background to the show.
Yes.
Like they're enhancing it.
Yes.
Have
they're a huge
you, producer ladies, seen any, I'm sure you can go on YouTube and see some of this, any ICW from Scotland or
She is not.
OTT from Ireland?
No, but there's some good stuff. The OTT.
You would
stuff is
love
fun.
these
I have
crowds.
not.
Very similar crowds. I don't
Our
want to
buddy
say
Keno's
Progress
out
was
there.
like that, but I know Rev Pro used to be like that.
Yeah.
Very good
Sorry.
crowds. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, not to veer off into the NXT UK
Don't
scene.
bring
No.
up Veer.
No, but
But-
seriously, no. I get what you're saying.
Stop trying to make horrible jokes.
Didn't make Lord
Uh-oh.
Ugh.
Don't bring up Veer.
Okay.
Spinner Fox says, I mean, I would take them 15 Impact fans over those hipster WWE fanboys that don't know shit. NXT UK is still a thing.
Yeah,
Is the pit
I like your
face
style there,
done
Splinter
on
Fox.
that show is why producer watches that. No, he's not on UK. They got Ilya Dragunov. Fucking badass. Anything else about the opening segment? LA Knight, Waller. I didn't really watch the match. I'm not interested in Dexter Lumis anymore. He's been ruined
No,
for me.
I didn't watch it at all. I was waiting for his wife to run out or whatever, and I was bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love Grayson Waller and LA Knight right now, and I'm so fucking
they're
thrilled
good.
for them.
Yeah,
They're good.
I'm really liking Waller. I love that he's just like this little shit that is like any little wound he's throwing salt on it or trying to make it worse.
Yeah.
Like it's hilarious to me.
Yeah. So then let's take a quick side quest, as you call it in D&D. Grim Reaper is bringing up detracting from the conversation, but it just came out that Mustafa Ali's release was denied, which is true. Mustafa Ali put in a request to be released, and he posted about it, and the current rumor is that, well, apart from them not releasing him, was that it was actively denied, and they just said, no, we're not going to, that it wasn't like a pending thing. Did you see his video he had made about wanting to be released, Amanda?
Mm-hmm. I did. And I get it. I understand that, and there's been quite a few people who have just kind of, stuck around because they were afraid to do it.
Yeah.
But you got to give someone credit, like when they're asking for it and go to such a big platform that to do it, that takes a lot. It also takes a lot of nerve for them to tell him no. And especially, it's like, if you're not using people, I don't care if, you have money or you don't or whatever, as a company, it's not about that. It's like, let them go do something else, I mean, why, like, basically chain somebody to, being unhappy?
So I think there's a few sides to this, and if I could play the devil's advocate, because for me, I constantly try to think of positives and what people could be thinking about stuff and what the positive aspect might be. Because there's a lot of negatives to having somebody who doesn't want to be there. And we've seen people. Let's see. Splinter Fox says, Ali, this is catering Ali for the next X amount of months left on your contract. Ali, we don't know any of that yet. So, but here's the other deal, right? So, if you think about it broadly, people who have also requested releases that were denied include Luke Harper, FTR, Sasha Banks comes to mind. Toni Storm recently didn't quite request her release because people have been bringing her up in this conversation a lot. She flew to Australia and said, I'm not coming back.
That's different.
That's a different predicament, right? So it's one thing to say, okay, fine. It's another thing for somebody in Chicago to be like, I don't like the creative you have for me. You should just fire me. Just let me go. Because that's what happened with Sasha. After that WrestleMania, she requested her release. And she said, I'm not happy doing this. And according to the story that Sasha Banks told, Vince McMahon said, we'll give you this many months off. Those months came and went, and she said, I need more time. And they said, we'll give you X number more months off. And she came back, and she's on the run of a lifetime. And she's headlined WrestleMania, and she talks about how she's happier than she's ever been. I'm not saying that this is like an end-all, be-all of everything, or that this is the example of all things. But I am saying, who's to say that's not what's happening here, where he's very unhappy with what they've pitched him in creative. He's not potentially willing to do those things. And by all means, integrity first. If anything they're pitching you goes against the core of who you are and what you want to be out there, absolutely say no. But if your response is, I don't want to do it, you should fire me, and their comeback is, well, we're not going to release you, but we've got more ideas. Like, we can work through this. If the idea is that they like him too much and think he's too big of an asset to let go, who's to say he doesn't end up on the other side of this in a tremendous storyline that's everything he's wanted to tell? Who's to say he doesn't end up in catering forever? You know what I mean? Like, there's just, you just don't know. But we've heard a lot of stories from a lot of talent who have requested a release, and some have gotten it, and some haven't, and some have gone to great success, and some haven't. And it just seems so particular to every single person every time. That hearing his release was denied, at first I thought, bummer, he wanted his release, didn't get it. But my second thought was, well, hopefully this means that they have something bigger in mind for him, or are just not willing to stop working with him. You know what I mean? What do you have? You don't like anything we're giving you, but we want you out there. What do you have? Let's find something that works for both. You know what I mean? I'm hopeful about it. I'm hopeful it means he's going to have a cool, good run coming forward. Doesn't mean he will, but it also doesn't mean he won't. You know what I mean? I just try not to think about it in the most negative aspect possible.
I don't know.
Spinner Fox says, Ollie will stick to his guns. He is not taking no more shit. That's what I mean. I'm saying he absolutely will maintain his integrity and not do anything he doesn't want to do. But who's to say that they don't start presenting him things he does want to do? And then he goes, I would not be surprised if he does the Pac thing and just write out his contract at home. I agree. I think that that's what we're looking at. He's either going to stay at home because they can't come to terms with the storyline he wants, or they'll find a storyline he wants. And I prefer the latter because I think he deserves to be on TV. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I think a lot of people, I don't know, I would hope and I would think that people realize that, because not everyone, when they go over to the E, a lot of these indie guys now, it's like you totally were drinking the Kool-Aid. They offered you something, whatever. But it's like you also sometimes have to like take things with a grain of salt. Like if there's just one person, it seems like this with WWE, one person who's like, I don't know, questions, that like could be the end of you. And they're like, it's not worth it to, give people like cush storylines or whatnot, or developing your character in a way. And, I mean, yeah, but if you're really unhappy, like I said, because you don't want to sit there disgruntled, because you never know what that person's going to do. I mean, you hear about people shooting, like taking a gun in their workplace and shooting everybody. I'm not saying that Mustafa Ali's going to do that, but, you don't know sometimes people's state of mind and stuff like that. So you got to,
Yeah. But on the
really
same token, we've seen them release a ton of people who did want their release and a ton of people who didn't want their release. Like, you'd think that they're in this mode, because that was part of the narrative by all the newsletters, right? Was that they gave Tony Storm her release because what did it matter? They're releasing so many people anyways. That it was like a non-factor. If they don't want to be here, let them go. For them to actively tell Ali no, it just makes me think that there's a possibility that it's not as simple as we don't care if you're here or not. That it comes down to we definitely want you here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we want to work with you and we want you on TV. It's not a matter of, I mean, if not to say they didn't try to keep Daniel Bryan, but if Daniel Bryan could leave, Bray Wyatt, Aleister Black, if all these people they had on TV actively in storylines were leaving, you haven't had Mustafa Ali since the Saudi Arabia show. And you're at a perfect point to release him if you don't want him. They clearly want him, and so I'm hoping that means they have big ideas,
And that's what I was thinking just now, that with their international travels opening up, that if they do, aren't they supposed? I don't think it was Saudi Arabia. They're supposed to go back to. Well,
they're going back to Saudi Arabia.
Was it Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, they're going to do an elimination chamber out there.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them wanting as much representation as possible
with someone who's so good, and maybe give him a cool story.
I mean, yeah, I personally liked him. I really liked him with Mansoor, and I was interested in that story. Like,
yeah,
I don't know why that got pulled away or what, but
they finished the story. They teamed until they broke up, and then they had their feud, and they had their final match in Saudi.
Yeah,
the story kind of finished. It was a great story, and they did work awesome together. but they would have had to do a bunch more work to keep them together somehow.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm hoping that they give him something like that, something that he can sink his teeth into that he's going to like. I've always liked everything he did with Ricochet. Mm-hmm. So who's to say? I'm just saying that in the mode we have with WWE where they're releasing people for no consistency reasons, nothing that we can pinpoint and say this is why WWE releases people, and you have a guy who hasn't been on TV in 6 months saying I'd like to be released, and they say no, it doesn't seem as simple and basic as this weird petty narrative people have that Vince just hates him and wants to keep him there. I feel like there's more to it, and there's likely a positive side to this. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I also think Vince is an old sentimental man at this point, and I think
I don't think so.
I mean, you don't think so? He just teamed up Beth Phoenix and Edge, like
Yeah.
they've ever needed that. It's just simply so they can say they work together. He's sentimental.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Edge could have gone to NXT and,
Oh, that'd be cool.
bumped weight out of the way,
Yeah. Well, going back to NXT, there was a few things that happened here. A couple of matches, some tag team stuff. Creed Brothers, Josh Briggs.
Cool promos.
Which with that promo? I was gonna go into the Dante Chen had a video package. He was the Singapore talent.
Yeah.
And he was talking about his father, how he kept telling him to train so he could see him back on TV and keep rehabbing your legs so you can get back on TV because he hurt himself in training. And 2 months ago, his father passed away.
Ugh.
And now he's ready to get back on TV. And I was all like, holy shit, how do you boo this guy ever again?
Yeah. That was pretty heartbreaking. I was like, God damn, this story.
Yeah. Not that he was a heel to begin with, but my God, if you want some sympathy, I'm like, I'm behind you forever, Dante Chen. You're my guy.
Yeah.
But he also is great. And
yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't know how to say this without sounding like an idiot, but I was so impressed with how clear his speech was. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times accents play factors in how clear you can hear somebody. And we talked about it here at home. That one of the promos we saw later on was from a Mexican native. And we were talking about how we understood completely what she was saying because we grew up around a bunch of, well, our families are Mexican. So we grew up around Mexicans. And so we know how to parse together really thick accents. Because I was like, oh, she needs to work on that a little bit. It was a little hard to understand her. But for others, I'm assuming. Because I was like, for me, she sounded like people I've grown up with. But
yeah, like we understood her.
Yeah. But with Dante Chen, like especially when you think about like Xia Li, how she's got to kind of speak slowly and deliberately and take her time with it, he was rattling off like nothing. And I just thought how great he's Singapore born, and he's in this incredible shape and is just ready to go. You know what I mean? Like he kind of reminds me of like Santos that way.
Santos, yeah, that's exactly like the best speech.
Yeah.
The best promo work, really. Yeah. Without even trying, it seems like. Yeah,
the possibility of amazing representation without any struggles. You know what I mean? What'd you think, Amanda?
I was really impressed with his story. I cried. I'm sorry. And like, it was really emotional. But I will say that, you're right. I mean, it's really interesting when you get, I don't know how to word this without sounding, when you get people from different cultures and who have a great mastery of the language. And I don't really know much about like the educational system in Singapore.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because there's some Asian countries where they have you learn English as well. So I don't know if Singapore is one of them, but I know in Hong Kong, yeah, they do. So it was really great. And it was one of those things I always think of when you have someone who's an international person, who's like a great wrestler. I mean, that's one of the things that you really need to kind of master and get down, because I think that you're more marketable if you can cut a great promo, and it's not something that, it almost makes them look like or appear, like, oh, these people don't know. They probably don't know what they're talking about or what they're saying. Like that you see in a lot of like the Joshi women and AEW, styly, things like that. So I was like, wow, this guy's, he's like seasoned to do this. And that's very rare when you see that in people that English is their second language.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it also comes under relatability too. You know what I mean? If you're able to convey your message and your thing so clearly, it makes you easily relatable, you know?
Absolutely.
Again, it's only from a place of being excited about him that comes from. Let's see, they had some Walter stuff in the back. And that's the other thing, too, is that as we get towards the end with the big reveal, they did refer to him as Walter consistently throughout this whole show.
Just real quick, the woman that Marsh was referring to was Lucia Leon. And Valentina Feroz. I don't know where she's from. But, I mean, I enjoy seeing new faces and just... I mean, I enjoyed what she had to bring.
Yeah, their video package was dope, showing them both as power lifters and judo champions. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I think, was she the one who said she, like, put her, one part of her, like, career on hold because she wanted to come do WWE?
Yeah, the power lifter was ready for the Olympics, and instead of joining the Olympic team, she just signed with WWE.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I need to watch you.
Yeah.
Like, you're here for a reason. You really want this.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's very impressive.
I felt like she didn't disappoint.
I agree.
She had, the team was more of a dancing duo. And I didn't think much of it until I saw the promo. And when I saw her in the ring, I was like, oh, she knows how to move her body. Like, it's not... You know, like some people I think that I won't mention in the show, they've got the arm work down, but it doesn't seem like they have the footwork down. So they can do a lot of cool like muscle moves, but then they just kind of flop when it comes to like what the legs are supposed to do.
Yeah.
This woman, I felt like she knew where to be and she knew her own timing, which was kind of cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that their match was actually really impressive.
That was her against Dakota Kai, so
yeah,
really cool to see her, you know, with someone so big.
Yeah, Dakota Kai's so good.
Sorry. Did you see that one, Amanda?
I did, and I was kind of blown away by it because I'm like, don't know who these people are, and I'm like, wow, this, you know. Like, again, women's wrestling, man. I mean, that's you know, that's the best over there. And it just impresses me when you see that. And like, the stories were really cool. That's what I thought. I was like, ooh.
And a perfect example of homegrown, right?
Exactly. Because you don't get that many anymore. You really don't. I mean, they say they are, but are they really? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With homegrown talent,
What'd you think of the Harlan and Joe Gacy segment in the backstage?
You know, I don't know. Why is Joe Gacy growing on me?
He's so good.
Every week.
So
I know,
actually,
it just, yeah.
Go ahead. Talk. While
I don't understand. Like, I've been trying to figure this out, like, every week when I watch him. Like, why is he growing on me? I can't figure it out.
This is what I think it is, because I mentioned it to Clump this week, because I know Clump's been Gacy's been growing on him a lot too, and he hated Gacy at first, and then the more I see Gacy, the more I think if Clump was a wrestler who was trying to be a bad guy, he might do this. He might be Gacy, right? And he ended up saying that he goes, I feel the most interesting villains are relatable, and also those you can align with who take your values and warp them. He goes, like, right now as a more left-leaning person, I find myself more disgusted, not with the right, but by the people like somebody who use the mantle to benefit themselves and hurt those who supported them. And that's what he's seeing in Gacy. Someone who takes your values and twists them to benefit themselves in such a way that you just get so mad because you're like, no, that's not what we're doing here. That's not the point of, you know what I mean? So him as a villain works out so well because of that. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
So it's just my theory on why you might be, because a lot of the stuff he's saying ultimately does make sense, and you want to agree with him, but you can tell he's a scumbag, so you can't, and that's very frustrating. You know?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I don't know what you hear. But yeah, no,
both of them. I'm interested in everything they've got going on.
Super interested in Santos Escobar and Braun Breaker, which is what we're leading to, which is pretty dope.
Oh my God, that right there. Oh, I can't wait for that.
That's gonna be sick.
Lady Stiffy, because it's very intense. Like, really can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Still not sold on 2.0.
Yeah.
But there's some good things coming out now.
There's
I
some
think
stuff.
they're kind of finding their way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. D'Angelo, I'm enjoying him, even though he's such a cartoon. Let's see. Oh, well, so there was this one bit, right, where Briggs and Brooks are in the back. I want to know what you thought about it. Caden and Casey come over. The one dude's, like, being real flirty and then not being flirty and, like, trying to, like, walk his ass out of it. And then Wendy Chu is sitting on top of the lockers asleep and goes, "Ooh." What'd you think about all that?
Wendy Chu, I'm not going to lie. Oh, my God, I love her. I mean, oh, God, what a treasure. If there's anybody that needs to be protected at all costs, Wendy Chu. Because, honestly, I get what they're trying to do with her, but it's just so goddamn cute, It's, I think, because I know people are like, oh, it's like they're Orange Cassidy. I'm like, no, it's like, she's almost like a little anime character, little female, little Snorlax. And why was she on the top of the lockers? It's cute. I'm like, what a lot of mystery there.
Which is true. A lot of the anime my brother used to watch, like Ranma One Half comes to mind, would have those kinds of things where there's a scene and then it just pans up and here's a character being a dick on top of the thing and then scrolling away, like, very anime-like.
Mm-hmm. It's cute. Innovative.
It is also, as much as I inherently am annoyed by it, every time I see her, I get happy knowing that you're enjoying the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't love it, but if other people are connecting with it, like, cool.
Yeah, the fact that you love it makes me like that it's there.
I don't want her to disappear. Like, I want her to be on TV.
Yeah.
It hasn't connected with me yet. But.
Yeah, because I watch it and I go, this is so ridiculous. And then I just kind of smile and go, Amanda loves this shit.
Oh, I do.
Which I get when I love that. You know what I mean? Like, that's the crux of our conversations. That's the crux of Wrestling on the Rocks. That's the crux of the dive bar.
Yeah.
If we can talk about what we like enough in the face of what each other doesn't like, maybe we can all enjoy it a little bit more. I can enjoy this segment strictly knowing full well that you're loving it. That's enough. You know what I mean? Like, that's perfect. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's one of those things where it's not comedy wrestling. It's just, it's something that you don't see normally.
Yeah.
And two, you never see a woman really doing this kind of shit,
Yes.
You don't. It's always a dude or, whatever. So I think that kind of adds to it for me, but it's going to be interesting where she goes with it, where they go with it. That's what makes me like, oh my God, it's so giddy. It's funny and it's cute. And, oh my God, give it a little red bow like this, like Hello Kitty, whatever.
Go all out.
I'm all for it, but then again, remember, I love shit like Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yep. Yeah.
Can I ask, what did you think of Saray in this promo she cut here?
Okay, that was bizarre. That promo was really bizarre. And I'm like, it felt so okay. I'm Asian, so I'm disclaimering this right now. So I feel like I can say it and it's not that bad, but it's still pretty bad. It just felt to me like a horrible Asian woman stereotype. The that's the on, you know, and I kind of was bothered by it.
Yeah,
Because
like
I'm
that
like,
character on Mad
do
TV, whatever her
better.
name was.
Yeah, I'm like, do better. You know, like do better. I mean, when you look at this is a great comparison, Wendy Chu. Okay, she's doing something that's kind of in that, you know, that anime realm, but it's not racist or slightly racist or a stereotype. Unless you are lazy and sleep, that's a stereotype, but not that kind of stereotype.
So,
Whereas Saray, it really bothered me. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's cringeworthy.
How do you compare the portrayal of this new character with like Kari Sane?
Yeah.
Kari Sane's a little different though. With Kari Sane, I think that there is not just was, but there was a purpose with it, and but it never, to me, it never came off like how this one did. This was like, okay, way out of the blue, and I think it kind of was. That's what took me back. Was like, whoa, okay, this is what you're gonna do with this gal now, after like the really cool, like when they were introducing her and, you know, the video packages and stuff, and now you get this. That's where I was like, whoa, wait a minute, you totally lost me there.
Do you think you'll feel different if she doesn't wrestle in the same attire? Like if she wrestles in the same thing she's always been wrestling in, that red gear, and this is just how she was dressed for this promo because it's maybe how she dresses outside of wrestling?
But looking like Sailor Moon or, you know, whatever, like a Harajuku girl?
Know.
I don't know. I mean, no, I don't know.
Like, now, if she wrestles dressed the same way, then there's a whole other argument there.
Yeah.
About presentation. But if she doesn't wrestle in that and it's just how she was dressed in that promo, doesn't that make it a little bit different? And the only reason I'm asking is just because, for me, I have a totally different perspective than you, because we will. My only perspective and attachment to the Japanese culture comes from my brother's high school years, where he was part of the Tucson Anime Screening Society. We used to watch all kinds of anime. He brought home tons of manga. My brother taught himself how to speak Japanese based off these cartoons and shit. Wow. And I used to watch a ton of them with him. And something I noticed in them is that they all take place in a high school. They're all dressed like that all the time. He used to get Japanese pop, J-pop albums and stuff, and the girls on the front were dressed like that, and I just thought that was part of the pop culture there, because they do go to schools in those like a lot of their schools are private style schools like we would see here. They're all uniform based. So by all the cartoons I saw and all the pop acts I saw were all kind of dressed that way, where I just thought maybe that's just part of the culture in a way. You know what I mean? So to me, I just thought, like, oh, it's just like everything else I've seen from that country. And these weren't like American versions of anime. These were Japanese anime. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's me, and I don't know. It's just being a third and a half generation Asian American in this country.
Yeah.
I'm very whitewashed, and I'm going to use the term very loosely. I really don't have any with the Korean culture. I don't have any, you know, like real, like true feelings of whatever. I don't speak it. I speak stuff on the barbecue menu. That's the only Korean I know. Soju. I mean, you know.
So the ties aren't.
I know the important things.
And again, the stuff I saw was when I was in high school. It was 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
But
so at the same time, I'm talking about 20-year-old stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but it's also like with Asian people in particular and whatever, there's a lot of things, you know, it could be 20, 30 years ago, or even longer than that are still, for some reason, people think it's okay in culture to, you know, to continue to do these things. Not necessarily, but I think that's, and this is a totally different topic, but I don't want to go totally into it, but I think that's where my viewpoint comes in, because it's kind of like, as much as, we're trying to be better. For example, top ramen used to be Oriental flavor. Now it's soy sauce with the same Oriental taste. We're trying, but we just can't get there. That's what this feels like. It's like, okay, you're trying, still a stereotype, but it's just not, it's just 100%. Like a pulling the wool over your eyes.
Because the other thing that I've never heard from any of the talent is that WWE tells anybody how to dress. All the gear, I've always heard from the wrestlers that is their responsibility, that it's their design, that very rarely are they given stuff. Karrion Kross said they gave him the straps and the helmet, obviously, but as far as no one's telling Seth Rollins or Becky Lynch how to dress, and obviously those are a different story because they're the top of the fucking mountain, but I've never really heard that they've been told how to dress specifically, especially when it's not in ring. Do you think there's any possibility that's just how she dressed when they filmed the thing and they just didn't think anything of it and thought, all right, that's how she's dressed? That it was her decision? Or do you think that was driven by them?
It's got to be driven by them.
The grandma's necklace threw me off.
Grandma's necklace thing was weird.
I was like, okay.
Totally weird.
Yeah, why are you wearing this,
big obnoxious necklace?
That's where I think no. But it makes me think this kind of topic of conversation always makes me think of Kevin Owens and how before he was signed, they don't sign wrestlers that look and dress like him. Yeah. The basketball shorts, the t-shirt or, whatever. No, they don't sign people like that. So it was very interesting when they did, because a lot of people were like, well, they're going to make him change. Obviously he didn't. But I think it's a little different with women, and it's a little different with people from different cultures. Yeah. Because for some reason, I don't know why, but Apollo Crews, I mean, part of that's like, okay, maybe it was him driving it with his whole thing. And then part of it, I'm like, no, I think the man was just like, go for it.
Oh, no, he talked about his character in the interview. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
No, so that's actually a part of his history.
Yeah.
Oh,
his dad was born in Nigeria.
Yeah.
His parents are both immigrants, and so he felt attached to it. And so it was something he wanted to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and he went into it quite in depth, but it was very much a part of his story. So and because I remember I tweeted about it and I was like, hey, everyone who's bitching about this really needs to listen to what he has to say. So that then that I've always been really into his new character, because it's very much a part of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I thought, well, maybe it's Black Panther, because that was, coming out around the time.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That was big too. And I thought, maybe. But then it's like, okay, Kofi, do you think he really wanted to be a Jamaican dude?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much that was him or whatnot, but
that was him. He showed up. He showed up and did the Jamaican accent in his tryouts, trying to stand out. And then when they signed him, he was like, "Shit."
I mean,
it was a character he was doing, and then at a certain point, it was like, "Can we drop it?" I stepped in it on this one. I shouldn't have done this. And so he leaned into it because it was a character he was going for, because he thought, I've never seen a Jamaican. Maybe I can get there by being something they've never had. And it was definitely his presentation.
Yeah. I mean, and I only have the experience of living in Okinawa for a few months, my last deployment. So that even there was, different. That wasn't a big city. I wasn't in, a hip area. So I can't really tell you
what was cool.
What was the norm, because I feel like it was just such a small town almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then here's me thinking, oh my God, Okinawa must be like Karate Kid too.
Oh my God.
Right? Right.
Well, but again, that movie was 30 years old or something now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
also think that there's a certain
That's
point
funny.
where we all want to be so culturally sensitive that we actually become culturally insensitive.
Right, we just get blinded.
Because we're blinded by the idea of that stereotypes are inherently racist. And I would say that up until I moved to New York, I always thought of all stereotypes as being a hard stop racist thing to say or do or think. Living in New York and being exposed to so many different cultures where they're able to truly embrace their culture in these communities, I started seeing a bunch of stuff that I used to think was racist, but was actually just representation of the norm. We had sensationalized the sensitivity of their norm as racist. And so in our venture to be sensitive, we became insensitive to their norm, thinking we were protecting them from racism when really we were just actually villainizing the norm. It was crazy. It was a really weird struggle I had when I first got there because I was so confused. There's a matter of fact a few times that I heard stuff and I was like, these racist assholes behind me, and I turned around and it wasn't racist assholes behind me. It was two people of that culture doing what they do normally. And I had overheard it and thought that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what's... Go ahead.
That's why I always, I know you've heard me say this before. Hold on, let me give you a yellow card, or I have a yellow card.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my. People are, oh, you're into soccer? No, I'm yellow. I'm saying it's okay. It's the pass, the hall pass.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it came off to me as one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I know enough about the culture as it stands now to be able to declare something like that against something that may have easily been presented by the performer themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, totally makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's funny too because even living in Okinawa, there are certain old timers there who, when you say, you live in Japan? They say, no, not Japan, Okinawa, because there's a whole history with that, you know, with that area. So like, that was really interesting in itself. But sorry, not to veer completely off topic, but
yeah, but it plays into that stuff, and a lot of these talent are given they're giving a lot of freedoms that we don't account for, and we just go, oh, this must be this must be that.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings us to the main event here. Walter, at the end of his match, he wins his match, and right when they go to announce who the winner is, he says, no, the winner of your match is Gunther, and throws the mic down and beats the shit out of everyone in the ring because he's a badass. He fucking murdered Roddy Strong, and it was so dope.
Oh my God, Roddy! I'm like,
so cool.
But you know what? I've been wanting to see that because that Roddy wasn't around during Walter's PWG run, and I always thought, how would Roddy and Walter? Because when Roddy was at PWG, I mean, that was the fucking man, you know. So
they did great. I loved this match.
Yeah, I loved it too, and I was like, when the whole thing, well, it's Gunther, I was like, oh my God, woo!
Yeah.
I'm like,
crazy.
holy crap!
I thought it was hilarious because it was such a short ending to me. He just said, Gunther, and then it cut. Yeah. And so when Marsh was telling me about the backlash that was happening online, because I'm sorry, I really just, work gets crazy. I don't have time to follow everything on Twitter. I really don't. And,
yeah.
Nor should anybody follow everything that's going on Twitter.
Yeah, like we have lives. But
yeah,
when he told me there was a backlash, I was really confused because I was like, I guess it's because I didn't immediately go to the dirt sheets, or I didn't try to research what Gunther was. I was just like taking it for what it was. I saw it on TV, and I was like, okay, Gunther, I guess I'll find out what that means, or why he did that.
Yeah, and they're trying to tie it to a last name that is not something that they're using or moving forward to. And even here, Splinter Fox says, oh man, it's going to be a Sailor Moon ripoff. I'm doing some research because he's a scientist. And do you know what Saray means in Hebrew? Because a Japanese person would choose a Hebrew name, I'm sure.
She Hebrew?
Yeah, she's definitely Hebrew from Japan. It means princess. What is a Sailor Moon? Sailor princesses. Wow, just wow. Because obviously,
I feel like that's kind of a reach, man.
It is absolutely a reach because she's not Hebrew. First off. Secondly, the name wasn't decided by them. It was decided by her. So even if it was a princess route, it was what she wanted to move forward with. Kairi Sane was the pirate princess.
Yeah.
I hated
That
her
was
gimmick.
awesome.
I hated it. I absolutely
Why did you hate
hated
it?
because it
Dude.
was childlike and too close to a schoolgirl to me.
Okay, that's part of that culture, in a way.
That's
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
And
his
she
point.
ran with
That's
it.
his
She
point.
ran with it like a football. They gave it to her. She ran with it.
But
Exactly. But it was her decision. It was what she wanted. I didn't like it because of those things, but it turned
But
out
now,
that I was kind of in the wrong on that because that's how they were presenting it and how she did it. I didn't feel comfortable with those things. These other things are also being presented in a very similar fashion, and people are suddenly like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what I mean?
And also, to be fair, when she teamed with Asuka, we really started to love Kairi. So,
I loved her with Asuka as the
Yeah.
Kabuki
So-
Warriors.
so eventually we got there, but initially
But, you know,
there were some
yeah.
bumps.
Oh, no,
with
no.
Marsh.
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, I get it. Like, and I think that with why it's kind of different was with, and correct me if I'm wrong, because remember, I've only been watching the product now for a little bit. How, when Carson, when she first came out, was she the pirate or was she something else? And then
She was a pirate.
she was always the pirate. Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is different where Saray came out as something different. You know,
Warrior
she
of
was
the
like,
sun, right?
yeah. And then now all of a sudden you're like Sailor
Which-
Moon, Sun. Hey, there's a stretch for you.
Which I get the necklace being a sun.
Yes.
I got
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
But did I
Yes.
need that?
But we are all speculating based off of one sit-down promo with her not in ring.
Yeah.
We saw her in what is arguably going to be referred to as her street clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Much the same as when Sasha Banks comes out in a bodysuit and clear heels. She's not going to be wrestling in that. You know what I mean?
No,
Like, we don't know what her presentation is fully yet.
The stripper
but
heels.
Scarlett Bordeaux can. Dude, I've seen her do a Hurricane Rana in
That's
fucking in clear stripper shoes.
She's
Yep,
good.
I'm just
yep.
in person. I've seen this. That's
We
badass.
got some funny chat happening.
Some in the chat here. Splinter Fox says Gunther name is going to be reversed. WWE's abandoned the name and trademark. They have not abandoned the entirety of the trademark. You newsletter chugging fool. Splinter Fox then says, Marsh, I'm going to punch you in the face when I see you. Sane was the best, damn it. Dude, I'll defend my title against you. My overweight championship of the world, Wrestling on the Rocks title. When I see you, come at me, bro. I will
That's
ref my own match.
Okay, well,
Well,
all right.
I'm gonna-
No.
Everyone be careful. Okay.
Okay.
Nope, that won't. Okay. Things went awry. I can't hold up the title.
Hold it. I mean, stuff's already fallen.
It's too late. I can't go back on it. I put it back down. I'm in the wrong. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everyone relax. But I'll defend my title against you, bro. But the idea is that the newsletters always are scouring the trademark sites to find out what WWE and AEW are trademarking. They only leak the ones that WWE's trademarking, ironically enough. So they went for a trademark of Gunther Stark. And my first thought was, well, they're never going to use that because the same promotion has Zoe Starks. Why would they have the same two last names of two drastically different characters? Was it Spinfox says, I will take that belt and take it and burn it in a trash can since you love WWE so much. Fuck, if you can beat me for it, that's what I'm saying. But Gunther's not an incredibly rare name in Germany to begin with. Also, we've been told by a bunch of these stars that they've been in NXT given the chance to give them like 10 names, right? And then they'll pick one. They usually do first and last name. Like Sasha Banks famously was a Sasha as a first name with a different last name and a different first name and a Banks last name, and they decided to pair those two. Someone could have easily have paired those two and just said, hey, go for the trademark because if we use it, we use it. If we don't, we don't. But to go from Walter to a two-name thing, I never thought was going to happen to begin with, personally. And when he said Gunther and through the mic, it came clear to me that they're just not going to use a last name at all. But the idea is that they went and filed for a trademark of Gunther Stark. And if you Google Gunther Stark, you can find out he was an SS submarine captain. But at the same time, if you Google Nazi Walter, you can find 3 Nazis of hierarchy also named Walter. Like, the idea is that these are relatively common names that people are flipping out about because of something that would otherwise have no impact on what they're seeing on TV anyways, if that makes sense. The only reason I have no real big issue with them going from Walter to Gunther is because I actually agree with the concept that Walter is kind of a silly name. And when Klump first told me there's a guy in Europe named Walter who's a badass, I remember giggling. I'd be like, Walter? He's a guy. He's like, Walter's a badass? He goes, dude, trust me. And I was like, his name's Walter, dude. He's like, sounds like an old man. And he's like, no, trust me, he's a badass. And then I saw him and went, oh, this guy is a badass so much that he'll make that name work.
Is Amanda still here with us?
What's
her name?
She's chewing, I think.
Okay, cool.
Walter is so good, he can make a goofy name like Walter work. Mm-hmm. It's a silly old man name. He's also so good that he's going to make a badass German name like Gunther work. Mm-hmm. Here's the other problem with Walter. It's pronounced Walter. Mm-hmm. But no one does it. So he already gets sillied upon every time he's out there. It's going to be a lot harder for people to mess up Gunther. It gives him a strong single name all the same. Fern Fox says, Gunther sounds like a hillbilly name. You've obviously never been to the South. He goes, I don't care about Gunther or Walter. I just like fire up Marsh. That's funny. German hillbilly. Yeah, I'm not worried about the name. I think the name is actually a cool, strong name. It's a strong German name. It's going to have an impact.
As someone who speaks German.
Yes, as someone who's been to Germany, speaks German. Half my family's from Germany. The name Marsh. It's a very clear, definitive lineage, I believe. But yeah, of German descent, who's been there and experienced the language. I'm not bothered by the name. I actually think Gunther's a little more classic than Walter. I remember thinking Walter was a goofy name. But at the same time, Amanda, if you're with us, what do you think? She may have stepped away entirely.
Okay.
Producer lady, do you want to tell me what you think?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it just because, again, I'm watching as a casual viewer. I was a big fan of Walter, obviously as someone that really likes and sticks with NXT UK consistently. I've always been a big fan, and I'm waiting to see where this goes. Like, I didn't expect it, but I'm also, not expecting a lot of things in NXT 2.0. Like, this whole show is supposed to be new and different, so I don't want it to be as predictable as possible. So, they got to do some name changes, some character changes with people coming over. Like, I'm gonna see it through, and not just make my determination based off the first sight. Like, I don't like to do that,
Yeah, I left it his name and it was Walter.
Yeah.
So here's a whole slew of people. And here's the problem with it, is I completely understand and agree with the concept of he's made his name as Walter over years, even within WWE's bracket, right? He was clearly Walter on the Indies. He signed to UK as Walter. The character Walter has a record-breaking title reign. So I do understand that, like, hey, Walter's established in his own way. There's a Walter action figure in the WWE Elite line that's fucking badass. They got him in the fucking coat with the belt, and he's got his arms behind his back. It's amazing. But the idea that they didn't also... Here's the problem with people thinking that it's an insult to your intelligence. They called him Walter all episode. It wasn't like they just had him walk out and said, here's Gunther. And everyone said, what? Gunther versus Roddy tonight.
Yeah, there was no setup. There was no everyone called him Walter, so...
They called him Walter.
Yeah, the fact that they ended with it made me think, oh, it's a tease.
It's story.
Yeah, they're making me want to come back to be like, what the hell is this Gunther bullshit? Like,
yeah, well, even then, for one, yes, we're probably going to get a promo on why Gunther, not Walter. But at the same time, you had this whole night of calling him Walter, preparing Walter this, Walter that, really feeding his name during the match like you would anytime anybody else watches a match.
Yep.
And then at the end, he goes, no, I'm Gunther, throws the mic. It really, to me, solidified that it's not an insult to your intelligence. It's a way to maneuver him to a new name in kayfabe, making it his decision. Amanda, what do you think about all the Gunther Walter stuff? I don't know how much of it you heard or not.
No, I heard some a lot, not a lot of it, but no, I was a little bit kind of shocked in the sense that everyone. Well, I shouldn't be shocked, but I think that with everyone running out to see what the hell Gunther is, and you're, and that's what you're looking up, and you see Nazi things because already, like, I know before Walter, a lot of people didn't like the whole ring general thing and the whole entrance that he would do his ring conf before, the Imperium stuff. And a lot of people were like, oh, that's very Nazi. And so it doesn't shock me that people went to go look, but it's like, my feeling is, why don't you see what's going to happen with it before you start
jumping,
assuming like, yeah.
Right.
Because, I mean, for me, I'm like, unfortunately, I mean, there's not a lot of like positive. Again, it's stereotypes again. So my thing is, because me, I really can't, because I'm not Eastern European, so I can't really, it's not my place to say, oh, well, whatever, but it does kind of, whoa, all right, that's maybe not a good thing. But whereas like the whole Saray thing, I can kind of say something, because it's like, man, you're putting me in a hole, like the slant-eyed hole. Yes, I did do slant eyes for those not watching. So, that's where I'm like, I don't know. Now, as someone who probably is of Eastern European descent, and that kind of bothers them, or someone who, I don't know.
I'm of German descent.
Well,
that helps.
Does it bother? Do you feel like, it's like, oh.
No, I thought it was a strong German name.
Yeah, he thought it was a better name than
Walter. Walter made me laugh. It sounded like an old man. And then when I first saw him, I was like, he's just like a chubby kid who wrestles. Then you watch him wrestle and you go, oh, he will make you believe. You know what I mean? He transcends whatever name you give him. Because I mocked the name Walter when I heard it. But after I saw him wrestle once or twice, there was respect on that name. Because that's how he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could call him anything. You call him Sweet Cheeks.
No.
And he will get respect on that name.
I don't think he's...
No, he can't pull that one off.
You gotta earn that name.
You gotta earn it?
Yeah, you gotta earn it. He's kind of flat.
Doesn't have enough bubble? Low on the bubble?
There is no bubble.
Okay.
Just like Colt Cabana, no bubble.
Oh.
Yeah.
This turns sad.
All roads come back to Bootyland.
Don't know what to tell you. If it's not about butts, we ain't hitting it. Yeah. I think that it is what it is. I think the newsletters jump to conclusions as much as they want to. I think people want to hold someone accountable for things. I think that a lot more common names were used in. I think ultimately, any name in German you find will be tied to a Nazi because of the fucking heritage of Germany.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
unfortunately. But that's the fact of the matter. Is those are two common names, first and last. And yes, they found one single person in the Nazi regime who had the same name as the trademark, but not the name that they even used.
Yeah, it was.
He's going to be Gunther with no last name. They're not going to give him a last name.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the, I don't know, Twitterverse and quote unquote journalists, they're stretching and they're trying to find another reason to hate NXT or WWE in general.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's what it feels like to me, because that wasn't my first thought, and I try to look at stuff as the casual viewer that I kind of am. So
yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Where were these people when ACH, formerly Jordan Miles, had his whole thing? And, basically a lot of people on Twitter were attacking him, like for a lot of like what he was saying. And not only that, but it was like, no, you approved that shirt. How is it racist now? or whatever, and the backlash that he got with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the problem with his story is that they showed him a shirt design. And he said, that's the one I want. And then as soon as they put it out, he said, this is racist. And it's like, well.
Yeah, because maybe it didn't look like that when he picked it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Don't
it's
know,
just it's a tough one to pick apart because it's all like, without being involved in all that, it's really easy to say this looks bad, but you did this thing. Like, it's a mess.
Yeah, it is a mess. And then not only just that too, but like, because people took it to these weird extremes on social media, it's like, whoa, okay. Like, you know, I'm sure Walter's been, people have said that, oh, you know, you look like a Nazi or you're, you know, whatever. I'm sure. I mean,
Imperium, before it was Imperium, was Ring Kampf. And a lot of people have made the connection to Mein Kampf in that.
Yeah, I know. That's been for years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Whether that's the intent or not, that's been the connection and correlation that people have made for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, so I think that people definitely are bored, and that's why they do things like this, and they jump to conclusions.
Yeah.
You know?
And they have their agendas, and anything that they can latch onto that might make somebody look bad, they want to look bad, they dig in with everything they got and say, this is definitively what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
WWE puts trademarks through all the time that they don't end up using. Mm-hmm. They get ahead of trademarks. They don't wait till it's too late. They don't want to introduce somebody without using a name that they have trademarked. So they trademark all sorts of shit and keep the ones that they use. You know what I mean? They let the other ones fall away. Happens all the fucking time. Spinfox makes a good point. WWE don't know what a last name is nowadays. Yeah. Talk to Otis. Talk to Big E. Talk to Cesaro. Rusev.
Oh, yeah.
People be dropping names over there, man. The idea that they're even going to give him two names? Fuck off. He'll lose the last name in a minute anyways. Spinner Fox is absolutely right for the first time since episode 1. He does say, though, Amanda, you want to know why Scarlett Bordeaux can do a flip with high heels? She's an ex-ice skater, so she's got major balance.
Yeah, but ice skating, you don't, well, unless you're doing ice dancing, you don't do.
She might.
You know, I don't know.
She looks like an ice dancer to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. He also says, let's get down to it, though. They want to have the rights to the Walter new name. WWE wants all the money, so that is the bottom line. So if they ever cut whatever his name is, he can still use it elsewhere. Motivation or not is...
that's a common name, though.
For one. But for two, they've already created merchandise with Walter as a name. So it tells me that they already had trademark on it, which also tells me that, yes, they do that typically, but at the end of the day, does any of that matter if it makes sense? And right now, in this sphere, in this story, it makes sense. Walter said, call me Gunther, after they've been calling him Walter all night. So now it's going to be up to Walter to Gunther this coming up week to cut a promo where he explains why he's going with Gunther. And as long as he does that and it makes sense, then we can all move forward with Gunther, because it just has to make sense kayfabe, right? Mm-hmm. If people can accept that fucking Eddie Kingston passed out because of PTSD from being in a prison when he saw a few sparklers goes off around 2 pieces of barbed wire, then we can move forward with a character saying, call me something different. It's happened numerous times before. Matt Bloom had like 4 ring names. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It happens. That's my soapbox, I guess. Amanda, I'm sorry if I cut you off too much. Is there anything you wanted to add in any of that?
No.
But how amazing was it to see Roddy and Walter?
Oh,
fucking loved it.
Yeah. Shit. You know, I can forgive I don't know, let's call it, I'll say it's weirdness. I can forgive that with NXT 2.0 when you give me shit like this.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, like, you know, give me goddamn LA Knight with a microphone. Give me some Cameron Grimes. Hell, give me a great fucking MSK match. You know, Legato. I really don't like that storyline with the chick. I am not a fan of that. No. But I will say, when you give me shit like this, that's what I watch. When you don't give me shit like that, I don't want to watch.
Yo,
so even though it's great,
go ahead.
As great as Braun Breaker is, which I think he's He's another one growing on me. That guy's got a fucking big future.
Yeah. But
as much as that, Joe Gacy and stuff, there's still other little things in there that I'm just like, what the, that's how I feel about grizzled young vets now. I'm like, what the, I'm like, no. So for me, that's that. I do love Toxic Attraction. I do. I'm not to say I don't. I love what they're doing with them because I think that the more actual, like, I think varied storylines that they have, which I'm glad that kind of are not doing that Indy Hartwell Dexter thing, really. Yeah. It's like sweeping it under the rug. I'm loving that. And then when you get, Wendy, I'm like, shit, there's so many things. Like, there's things it can work, but the majority of the time it's not. So when this match, because I watched it actually on Tuesday, not live, but I watched it on Tuesday because I said to myself, gotta watch on Tuesday. So I did. And that Roddy match and Walter, holy shit. I knew it was going to be good, but not as good as what it ended up being.
It felt like a show built for you. It opened with LA Knight. It closed with Walter Roddy. Yeah.
That was my show.
And it had Wendy Chu in the middle.
And Cameron Grimes was up in there. And yeah. And I will say this with that tag match that I'm really upset about with Legato because of Phantasmo, because they let, the NXT version of Private Party win. And I was like, what the hell? Oh, yeah. Yeah. They kind of look like Private Party.
There was a bit of a rumor that this might be Roddy's last match in NXT, that he might be leaving. What do you think about that?
I'm pretty sure he's leaving. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he's going to go be with his old lady and his old friends because all the boys are there.
I thought he signed a new. I thought the dirt sheet said he's. Too. Yeah, I thought they said he's re-signed like less than a year ago.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought it was like right before Adam Cole's contract expired. They're like, or when Adam Cole left, I thought right after like Roddy re-signed is what I thought.
That's what I thought too. But who knows? I don't know. We don't know about contracts.
That's a good point. I don't understand contracts. Could have been short term.
And we don't go on these like sheet things and look either because. Yeah. I don't know. I don't care. But I think that with Roddy and Walter, I think there are a lot of friends of mine who were like, we never got to see this. And I go, I know. Oh, yeah. I know, because everyone already knew that's going to be just intense because like Roddy, when he gets in that intense mode, I mean, he just, he's there and I'm for it. I think the ones that were in Undisputed Era, I think he's the one that, for me, was like when it's go time and he puts it on, he hits the throttle. Yep. That's the one that really is the most talented.
I agree, but at the same time, if he didn't re-sign, I totally get it because in my mind, I don't know where he goes up from here. I don't see him fitting on the main roster. He doesn't have enough charisma or character.
No. Poor Roddy. I mean, I feel for him.
And
it's like
so
Ricochet. Great. Mike Skills, no. It's like you need Malcolm Bivens to be your mouthpiece. But what's also kind of sad is, okay, well, you just put this Diamond Mine thing together not that long ago. And if he leaves, it's like, oh, all right. Failed experiment, whatever. So I don't know.
And it was a good run.
It was, yeah.
But
it was.
Kind of is what it is. Well, let's wrap it up on these couple of questions Splinter Fox has for you. He says, WrestlePro Killer Instinct, February 5th. Scarlet Bordeaux back in the ring. Can't wait. It should be on Fight TV. Also, Killer Cross versus the not elite Flip Gordon.
I know. I'm so excited about that. Yeah. Because I don't think they've ever... I'm trying to think back. I don't think they wrestled each other.
Yeah, I don't know if a time they would have, unless they did it here in Tucson, because CLW out here brought out Killer Cross, and at the time Flip Gordon was one of the trainers at CLW.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he was spending a lot of time out in Arizona.
Yeah. That's right. So there's a period of time where they had an overlap where it's possible, but at the same time I didn't go to the shows because the owner of that company is a fucking scumbag.
Okay, yeah, then please don't go to shows that people are scumbags. Can I?
I would go to the meet and greets because they would bring in guys like Foley or Cross or somebody I wanted to meet, or at the time Tessa Blanchard. Oh, it was so funny. We were there for a meet and greet for Foley, and the owner of the company walks over to producer lady, and he goes, "Oh, are you guys staying for the show?" She goes, "What? No." And he's like, "Oh, why are you guys not staying for the show?" She's like, "Can you leave me alone?"
No, it was because we were right at the front to see Foley.
Yeah.
So he was like interrupting our process.
Yeah. And she's like, "Can you just leave me alone? I'm trying to meet Foley right now." And he was like, "Oh," and he's like, "Fucking shoot him." And then I just laughed because she had no idea, but I knew exactly who he was. But yeah, so in that regard, it's possible they've had a match here at Tucson, but I don't know for a fact that was the match they had. But secondary, Fox says, "Amanda, I can't believe you didn't get hyped over," and here's the thing that's going to make you flip, Roppongi Vice versus Young Bucks on Rampage. They were also showing NJPW footage.
I just so forgot about it. Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay. You lost your shit online.
I did lose my shit on Twitter.
He does say Rocky Romero is the true forbidden door between the two companies. So go ahead, take it away.
Let me tell you. Okay. I personally, myself, always thought that Trent Beretta, of the best friends, was the better wrestler. I don't know why everyone goddamn loves Chuck Taylor. I have no idea why. Okay? Don't know. I don't think he's all that great. But I will say that really that rivalry that Roppongi Vice had with the Bucks was amazing. I mean, there was some really great, wrestling out of that. And I was just like, okay, girl, stiffy. And when they broke up, it was sad because, then there was Roppongi 3.0 with Show and Yo, and that was okay, but it just wasn't the same because they had this energy together that it was just, I don't know, it was magical. And then Trent became Heavyweight Trent. Yes, I did come up with that name at PWG, and everyone ran with it. But anyways. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I hope we get to see. I know they said, "Oh, we're reuniting," one more time. I'm like, no, I want it permanent, okay? Because they could dominate that whole goddamn tag team division. I want to see FTR versus Roppongi Vice. Hell, I want to see them versus, when Phoenix gets better. I want to see them and the Lucha Brothers. Okay, talk about exciting kind of matches. Come on. Malachi Black and Brody King. Hello. Hi. I don't need to see, Red Dragon. I mean, that'd be okay, but I don't care. No. But there's so many great possibilities. And I think that would make their tag team division, one, more credible, and two, actually enjoyable to watch. And not, feeling like, okay. Because I know they beat the shit out of goddamn Luchasaurus because he sucks. But to see, like with Rocky and his style, I mean, he'd make Luchasaurus look like $1 million. But to see them with Jungle Boy, I think would be great. So again, I mean, I really wish it. I hope it's a permanent thing because I totally did lose my shit because I love them. Oh yeah. If I could have gone and knew that was happening, yeah.
Yeah, you messaged me losing your mind.
I was losing my mind. Yes, I was. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, total fangirl moment. Mm-hmm. I still haven't met Rocky though, and because he did wrestle at West Coast Pro, but they had to go to a New Japan show, so they flew. Oh no, it was Final Battle, so they had to all fly. They had red eyes, so I didn't get to meet him. But I love Trent though. That's my homie. Yeah. He used to do a lot of mocap in a hotel I worked at. That's where the 2K games, that's where they put all of the people who did mocap for either basketball or for the WWE games. So he was always there. So I used to hook him and a bunch of other wrestlers that I knew up with food credits and stuff for the restaurant. Because I was like, dude, I remember one of the times all of a sudden I hear Amanda, and I'm like, the fuck? Turn around, it was Sanjay Dutt. I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? Are you doing mocap? He's like, how'd you know? And I go, because you guys always stay here. Hello, I'm the one that books the group.
That's true too. Yeah, you book them in your own place.
So yeah.
Spin Fox does say about Roddy Strong. Yeah, that's what people are saying. He signed on the dotted line for another 3 years. So who knows? He goes, Strong was on Marina Shafir's Twitch stream today, so it could be possible he's done with WWE, and maybe that is why they haven't tweeted officially signed with Marina Shafir yet. He goes, Trent has TNT champion written all over him, but damn all the recent injuries. It definitely's got mid-card written all over him.
Well, he's one. Yeah, Trent's one. I mean, you gotta love the guy. But, you know, with him, he is very injury prone, at least in the last couple of years. But, you know, I think that with him, I mean, he just goes balls out. And, I mean, you know, everyone else is kind of, well, not Wheeler Yuta, but I think everyone else in that, you know, in that best friends realm. I'm not including Statlander because she's her own entity, but they're all kind of, you know, like Chuck, I don't think likes to take bumps and thinks that he's been around enough to do it, you know, to say, nah, I don't need to take bumps. But yeah, no, Trent with was the workhorse in that team, and it just sucks. But I hope what would be great is if Sue drove him and Rocky in the van, and that'd be great. But you know what, I'm just going to take Roppongi Vice, and it would be really, really cool if Sue was involved. But because we get to hear the fucking rap in the whole. Okay, sorry.
It'll be something. And then he says, let's see.
If you think I lost my shit now with Roppongi Vice, God damn, if Skrull ever fucking comes back. Oh my God.
Insane. Spin Fox says they're saying Ray will be back in sometime in February. Glad he's okay. Fuck yeah.
Oh, good. That was bad.
That's quick. Spin Fox says one step closer to Okada in AEW, and Trent versus Adam Cole was amazing. I was so bored of that match, dude. As soon as it was over and I saw Shawn Spears, I turned off the show because I'm like, I'm not watching any more of this. It was so boring to me.
I like Trent Beretta, so I gave it the benefit of the doubt. Okay. But Adam Cole, I mean, it's the same. Well, like most of it, it's the same shit. Oh, you know, whatever. And I think that, you know, why it's the same shit over and over again, because of all the silly people in the front row, in particular, all the testosterone that's there. They all love doing the whole boom bullshit and the baby, you know, and all that. And it's like, but besides that, it's like, well, what else does Adam Cole really have to offer?
Yeah.
Not much. So I question that all the time.
Well, Splinter Fox has a few questions about stuff. I also wonder too, though. There's a lot of people who seem to have not popped up places that just make me wonder if they're problematic, and I just don't know about it. Like Allison Case brings to mind, because he's saying that they're blacklisted. He goes, at this point we would have seen Flipper scroll by now if they were going to show up anywhere. But at the same time, like,
not blacklisted. No.
Much just it is. I think it's also a weird thing we just don't know. Like Allison Kay is so good, and she just doesn't show up anywhere but NWA, and that's so weird.
She is one that I think has a problem with a lot. People have a problem with her.
That's what I'm saying. Is I think there's a lot more to it, and I think it's a lot more nuanced than we know.
Yeah, and I think also like with with women wrestlers. Yeah, I mean, that's why I was really shocked that they even brought Ivelisse in, because she's a known person who's a troublemaker and people don't like her. Yeah. But whatever. I kind of miss seeing Diamante, wrestle. Mm-hmm. Hopefully she's still around, not injured. But, I mean, there's a lot of people. I don't think Flip is blacklisted. Marty, it's only because of people don't know how to read, and, it's a lemmings thing where one person believes something, they follow, and off the cliff. Mm. But honestly, I think that one or both are going to show up, because there's a reason why Flip is doing those videos still.
Yeah.
About where is everyone, so yeah. But I don't know anything other than I just suspect that there's something going on with those videos, because why would you keep doing them?
Yeah, I think there's something going on with it too, and I don't think he's just fishing, but it is what it is. We'll see how it all plays out, because that's what we do, is we watch TV and see how it plays out. Amanda, was there anything else you thought we missed that you wanted to make sure we touched on?
No, but I remember next week, if I actually tomorrow when I watch Rampage, I'll see if I can get you some reaction. Oh my god. I'll probably lose my shit on Twitter.
That'll be good. Definitely do it. Give Miss Amanda Jayne at MsAmandaJayne with a Y a follow to get her live reactions to Roppongi Vice being back together again. You can follow me for very little reaction, monotone tweets, and a lot of fan art at Ref Marsh. We are at WOTR the show. Guys, this has been the Die Bar of the IWC, and we are happy to have you come through with your drinking buddies and have another episode 1 with us as we do. Splinter Fox says, ding dong, Roppongi Vice, hello. I cannot wait for Bayley to come back, man. I'm hoping so bad for a Rumble return, but if she's not ready, she's not ready. But I'm really happy for the returns that we've also had all across the board. Having Cody back after medical concern is always nice to see someone get cleared up from medical.
A week.
It was a medical concern. As long as you're back from medical, I'm happy. Whether I want to see you wrestle or not, it's different. But it's just nice to know you're not medically ill anymore. To see Moxley back looking better than ever is really nice. He needs to keep that momentum going and focus on himself in a lot of ways. He's got to stay focused on himself to keep that going. I've seen too many people fall off those tracks, and he's got great momentum. Keep it going. Fight through it. And there's one thing we know about Moxley is he's a goddamn fighter, and hopefully he never stops that fight. So, guys, this has been a wonderful episode 1. We'll be back here next week for a whole new episode 1 right here in the Die Bar of the IWC. Guys, that's the last call.
Cheers.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Ice a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.